And now on Who's Views, it's time to join JT, Paul and Third Doctor Ian for the latest headlines.
As you can see, here we all are, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to your headlines this Sunday evening. There's Third Doctor Ian. There is Paul. How are we all doing?
Not bad. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine and dandy. And we're kicking straight off with part 2 of your big weekend this weekend. Thank you so much for everybody for joining in with us for last night on Saturday night with part 1. It is now part 2 on February the 1st, 2026. It's just gone 8 o'clock here in the UK. Nice to see you all. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to ask the usual question. Have you heard? Well, there's a latest rumor we're going to be looking at this show, which is, could HBO be the next streamer? We're going to be looking at Rtd'S next giant masterclass. And Mark Gattiss is shocked that Ncuti Gatwa left Doctor Who.
Is he not? Is he shocked and surprised? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just so pleased.
Shocked and stunned, I think. Shocked and stunned. Yeah. Listen, guys, we're going to start the show straight away now with some sad news, aren't we, guys? Because we have heard in the last couple of hours that a Doctor Who name that a certain generation, or a couple of certain generations will know, sadly passed away yesterday on the Saturday. Now, this is Lorne Martin. Now, for those of you who don't know, Lorne Martin was massively responsible for the BBC Doctor Who exhibitions in Blackpool and Longleat. These legendary, they will go down as legends in Doctor Who lore. Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. The golden age, what we now know as Doctor Who, represented by these two exhibitions. But he started, guys, as a postboy at BBC Portland Place. There's a name.
Wow.
And he went up the chain, as it were, and eventually ran the exhibitions department at what was then BBC Enterprises, having pioneered TV costume exhibitions in the 1970s. So he was responsible, Ian, as well, for that Daily Mail exhibition that we see John Pertwee.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
His lawn. And then from that, of course, throughout the 70s, the Blackpool exhibition, the Longleat exhibition, that was maintained, wasn't it, Paul, through the 80s?
It was, yeah. And it's funny, interesting, in BBC Enterprises, he was also responsible, for, correct me if I'm wrong, about getting Tom doing the Target book tours as well, and encouraging Tom to go into schools and things like that. And I have to thank him. Thank you, Lorne, because when I was 9, I met Tom Baker. If it wasn't for him, I'd never met him when I was 9. So God bless you, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm going to join you with that, because for us, well, I mean, the impact that he has left a true legacy. Because if it hadn't been for him, there wouldn't have been the exhibitions, not just for Doctor Who that ran and became the Doctor Who Museum thing in Cardiff, and still that touring one that went to Edinburgh and Liverpool and wherever else it went and down under. It wouldn't the one that when they came back, the one that appeared on Brighton Pier in 2005. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have happened. But also, neither would the exhibitions for the various other shows that the BBC set up in an attempt to try and capitalize on the format. Never quite works, really. When you saw Valerie Singleton's outfits. But no. So Clive Calculator's with us saying, excuse me, everybody, wasn't he involved in getting John Pertwee at the Liverpool Garden Festival? He probably was, because he was the representative, wasn't he, Paul?
I believe so, yeah.
Artists and whatever an event exhibition type thing was.
I think he was heavily involved in Longleat as well, as far as I'm aware. Obviously, that's part of BBC Enterprises as well, which is a Doctor Who's Woodstock, obviously. But yeah.
Well, God, he was there for the whole thing, wasn't he? Macaroning and all this sort of stuff. Well, now, oh, bless him. So we wanted to just pay our respects. You guys are doing it in the chat as well. It's great to see you all. Let's have a look and see what you're saying. We've got Cara, the Tolkien nerds, back with us. Hi, Cara. Thank you for your email. Sad news indeed. R.I.P. Lorne. So Clive Calculator telling us here that the Blackpool exhibition was terrifying. Wasn't it good?
Yeah.
And as kids, we loved it, didn't we?
Oh, God, yeah.
You never wanted to leave. Your parents would go, "Come on, we need to go now." No, I want to stay. No, you need to go.
Did you? No.
Yeah, you know, when you got to the end, which for those of you who will never know the magic, was a shop, a beautiful shop. It was an Aladdin's cave. And you got to the shop and you would choose all your stuff and your parents would go, no, and spend lots and lots of grotzes. And then you'd go back into the exhibition and you end up for another hour chasing you.
Yeah.
The console room,
and the wonderful thing with the exhibition shop as well was you couldn't get certain items. You could only get them in the shop, couldn't you? You couldn't buy them online or anything like that, or you couldn't get them in any other shop apart from the exhibition, like the pencils and the pens and all that kind of stuff. It was great.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely. And again, he was instrumental in that. Those early things about marketing and advising people. Have these the T-shirts, the car stickers, the pens, the pencils, the erasers, everything you say there, Paul. Hi, Stephen.
Even the carrier bags, the great Doctor Who carrier bags as well. Remember them? Yeah,
I've still got them upstairs. The black and silver ones.
They're the cool
Stephen
ones.
O'Neill loved every minute of visiting the Doctor exhibition in Blackpool in August 1980. Paddy and I, hi to you, loved the Blackpool exhibition back in the day. Oh, I miss it so much. Bill is with us saying probably the same Tom Baker book signing tour where I met Tom. Yeah, it is. Stephen Braddock is saying, oh, this is sad news. R.I.P. Lorne Martin. Absolutely. Gilliam, how are you? Legion of James also saying to us the Blackpool exhibition was great. We're never going to see anything like it again.
No, we're not. We're not.
Those beautiful atmospheric sound effects and the lights. Nothing like it again.
And the Doctor Who theme on a continuous loop as well.
Yeah. Although, again, it's people like Lorne Martin and the exhibition that inspire people like Neil Cole's wonderful Museum of Science Fiction over in Allendale, wasn't it? You know, because he's told me direct, and he said on the show he was inspired by what Lorne did in the Blackpool exhibition. Thank you for this, Frankie Stanish, who says R.I.P. Lorne. And Paul Schlafter is saying to us, I have such happy memories of the Longleat exhibition. I went so often when I was younger. Such a shame it closed, but the police box is still there. I believe it is. It's all painted over now, isn't it, guys?
I think it's white, as far as I'm aware, because there's still a Longleat programme on the BBC, and often it features in it. You know, in the safari park, it might be a birdhouse or a bat house or something like that.
The bat house, wasn't it? I remember.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. RIP from Bill there, and also from Darren Reed. Hi, Darren. I'm always glad that I got to Blackpool in 1984, just a year before it closed in 85. RIP Lorne. He will go down as a legend, actually, an off-screen legend, one of those most really important people in the Doctor Who lore. And I never got to meet him, which I'm gutted about, actually, you know, because I never saw him at a convention.
Would he have been involved in, I suppose he would have been, involved in that one that toured America towards the end of JNT's reign, that Janet Fielding
yes, he was, heavily.
I think it was,
heavily. Yeah. Absolutely. And actually, if you want to know more about these wonderful exhibitions, I'm just going to give a plug to Keith's range, because they're very good. Keith Barnfather at Real Time Pictures has released several DVDs about, well, the Blackpool exhibitions, both of them, the Longleat exhibition, Neil's exhibition, the Museum of Science Fiction, and that one you've just mentioned, Ian.
Is that just come out just recently, I think, isn't it, that one?
It's either out now or about to come out.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I've got to get it myself to complete the collection.
Yeah, me too.
Because I never saw that American one, because apparently they took it to America, which was rather rude.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I remember Andrew Skillis's beautiful artwork and Janet Fielding and Nicola Bryant and Colin and Bessie.
Yeah. Lovely.
But yeah, Lorne was very much involved in that, Ian. Yeah, wow. Definitely. I went with mates, says Mark Greaves, to Blackpool exhibition to take the mick, but ended up falling in love with Doctor Who. So thank you, Lorne. That's lovely, isn't it? That is lovely. And Jessica Corbin saying, Lorne Martin oversaw the successful BBC TV special effects exhibition in the early 1970s, which led to the creation of the BBC Exhibitions Department to commercialise corporations' television shows. Yeah, it did. They realised they were onto a gold mine, I tell you.
Now, can I ask, I think there's a clip on, I think it's on Season 9 Blu-ray Correction, and there's a little bit on Nationwide from that exhibition, and you see a little bit of the console room that they have in that exhibition, and it's fabulous. So look out for that. I can't remember if it was nationwide or not. Maybe one of our viewers can tell me if I'm right or not. But it's on season 9 collection set. It's brilliant, lovely.
I think brilliant. There was also the one where Tina Heath went in '79 to Blue Peter. Remember to John
on Longley? Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that's the one with when J&T's first seen on screen for his interview about season 18 coming up. I think. Yeah.
And then we couldn't get him off it ever again, bless him.
I remember her taking a feather duster to the K1 robot.
That's right,
yeah.
Oh, it wasn't camp. John Mason, hiya. John, I went to Longleat, but it was the late 1990s, I seem to remember, but it was very, very good. Yeah, well, yeah. It lasted to the turn of the century, didn't it, the Longleat one? I'm sure
G&T did lots of lovely events, didn't he? After two finished,
Cybermen events and stuff. Lorne would have been involved in some way with all those as well.
Yeah,
because I went to several of those, and people like Colin were there, and Tom was there, and happy days. And Derek Hart saying to us, guys, I used to be a Cyberman and Cyber Leader at the odd time and at the odd time as a Dalek at Blackpool. Some of my photos in the second book of Doctor Who exhibition in the 80s. I was a teen, but R.I.P. Lorne Martin. Oh, bless. That's great, isn't it? One of your friends was a Cyberman there, wasn't it, Paul?
Well, I actually was a Cyberman there myself as well, actually. Yes. I back in 85, I've told this story many times, I'll tell you again to bore you to death. But in 1985, Colin Baker was there to sign with Nicola, and my friend booked the bus from Edinburgh down to Blackpool, and he mistimed it because we arrived just as Colin was leaving with Nicola in a car. So I've never forgiven him for that. But Nigel Peaver was one of the guys who was one of the guys on the exhibition who were actually doing all that kind of stuff. I helped publicising it, dressed as Daleks and Cybermen and various other characters, and they were kind enough to let myself and my other friend Paul to dress up as Cybermen and have fun as a consolation for missing Colin. So that was wonderful. So thank you so much, Nigel. Thank you very much.
You got a pub crawl?
We should have done, yeah.
A pint of lager. Excellent. They would have been used to that in Blackpool, I tell you.
They would have been, yeah.
The John Keeley, thank you for your super chat. Good evening, gentlemen. Well, good evening to you, the John Keeley. Hope we're all well. 2 headlines episodes in one weekend. Awesome. I know we're spoiling you again. This will happen occasionally when there's so much to talk about for one show. We'll surprise you with another one, as we've done this weekend. So not bad, eh? And also, Digby. Hiya, Digby. How are you, mate? Thank you for your super chat. The Blackpool exhibition and Longleat were things I missed and will always be the stuff of my wildest dreams. Mr. S made it to Longleat. Mrs. S made it to Longleat. I'm so jealous. You should be. Yeah, I mean, if you weren't there, you weren't there, basically. Because they were just brilliant. They were brilliant. I went to both. I went to Blackpool, which was the main one I always went to, but Longleat. And then, of course, there was the Llangollen one as well, which Lorne was also involved in. But if it hadn't been for Lorne, we wouldn't have had those cherished memories. I only
went to Longleat during the Longleat event, so obviously you have to, don't you? But they had lots of other stuff as well. I remember some Thunderbirds models as well. I think Lady Penelope's car was there as well. There was quite a few other things in a little side bit at Longleat, which made it quite interesting. But I went to the Blackpool one twice, I think, mid-70s and in 85. It's last year.
Oh, it was fabulous. I can smell it now we're talking about it. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If you were there. It's that Blackpool dampness. Oh, it was wonderful.
It was like, remember you used to, when you were a kid in the 70s, you had that electric fire and you put it on, it was a bit dusty. You could smell the burning dust. It was a bit like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. I only visited, says Carl Goddard, the Blackpool Museum once around about 1986. It would have been about 85 because it closed in 85, my friend. I went back a year later and it had become a Laurel and Hardy museum. Yeah. Well, it was a shoe shop for years. It's not now. The shoe seller disappeared. But that was still like a pilgrimage for all Doctor Who fans for years. For years and years.
Was the guy who run the shoe shop a Time Lord, any chance?
Yeah, he looks a bit odd.
Yeah.
And he had bees and honey for some bizarre reason. And Jason's with us. Hello, Jason. Evening, all. The Blackpool exhibit, always fondly remembered, and that TARDIS frontage as iconic to the Blackpool seafront arcade shops. The Doctor exhibition in Blackpool was very much an important part of the Blackpool economy. from 1973 to 1985 when the doors closed.
I'm really hoping when season 11 comes out, there'll be a documentary about the exhibitions, because that would be fantastic. Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to speak nicely to Keith, because he's more or less done it now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Glenn, how are you? Nice to see you, Glenn Piper. I remember seeing Davros in Longleat back in the 90s when I was young. He was there for years. It's strange because he must have had a twin, because he was also in Blackpool. Don't know that happened. And Nate Channel, it's great to see you. Hope you're feeling better, JT. I'm getting there, Nate. Thank you so much. Getting there, my friends. It's lovely to see you. Matt Enspiel is sharing with us that he always wanted to be a Cyberman. Well, if you carry on right now, it could happen. Go to Hollywood, they'll sort you out. Oh, I see what you mean, one of ours, right? Yeah. Being 6'4", I could have suited up and been halfway menacing. You could have been.
Well, I wasn't. I was the short-ass Cyberman from the Five Doctors. That was me. So,
we're laughing at this. This is great. This is absolutely great. But we just have to say thank you to Lorne for all these happy memories. And here we are, remembering you and having fun because of what you did. So wherever you are, God love you. And as usual, what we say in these situations is best wishes to your family and your friends at this sad time. But he will always, always be treasured and remembered by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Doctor Who fans here in the UK. I can guarantee you.
Absolutely.
God bless you, sir. God bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. Just before we get into the show proper as well, there's somebody else that today, on the 1st of February, we do need to remember. And it's the one, the only, the Doctor Who legend. It's Elizabeth Sladen, because today, boys and girls, she would have been 80.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have to say, everybody, from my point of view, it's not been the same.
No.
I'll tell you something, I mean, personally, I got home from work one day and heard the news that Pertwee had died, and that was absolutely the pits for me. But apart from that, hearing that Liz had died, that was the gut punch, and that took some processing. Losing Liz Sladen, our Sarah Jane, that was, whoa. Even now, it just doesn't seem real, to be fair. Sad, hugely missed.
And as I say, fandom has never quite been the same since we lost her. And I think her loss is still felt.
What
What can we say? But she would have been 80 today, and I think we had to acknowledge her. God love her. We had to acknowledge her. My girl. Oh, I'm tearing up. She was my
knowing Russell, if she was still with us, she'll be in the last series.
Well, at least he would have got to keep doing the Sarah Jane adventures. There's so many what ifs out of this, isn't there, really?
He would have trashed her legacy, so to be quite honest, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Well, imagine the connection with Sutek and all that kind of stuff as well.
God. Sarah Jane was the companion, says Mark Walker. She certainly was for me. I know we've all got our own Doctor Who girl, but Sarah was mine. Definitely. No disrespect to anybody that came before or after, but she was mine. And I miss her. We are going to be starting our reviews of the Sarah Jane adventures soon. So make sure you stay with us. If you've got the DVD or the Blu-ray box sets of it, start watching them. We're going to be doing them like we do with the Blake 7 ones. We're going to do them series by series, episode by episode, because again, it was all sort of continuation, wasn't it, with Sarah Jane? The serial.
And it felt more like classic Who than New Who did, for sure.
Well, that's what we're going to be investigating as we get into it. So stay with us, everybody. Lots of appreciation now as well for Liz and the character she created so brilliantly. It's just lovely. Hi, Margie. How are you? Lovely. Good to see you. Glenn is also telling us, I remember being in a hotel in London, just finished watching the wrestling in the O2 Arena. Oh, right. Okay. The news broke that Liz Sladen had died, and I remember being in tears in my hotel room. I was devastated. I can relate to that one as well. It took hours to get over that one, I tell you. Funky is also saying to us, even non-fans were upset at her passing. There was a whole generation, absolutely, that was upset at Liz's passing because they'd all grown up with her. Whether they were fans or not, everybody knew Liz Sladen from when they were kids. So when it was all over the news, wasn't it, that she'd passed, everybody felt it. Everybody felt it.
I think even the response from fans who joined in New Who or the Sage Adventures, they were gutted as well, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
You know? Amazing the legacy she had, you know.
Yeah. And Newsrant, remember Newsrant did that very mature story about her passing.
Yeah.
In a very Newsround way. You know, it was very well done. Very well done. Mark Greaves for Super Chat. Do I want to go to work tomorrow? No, but can't think of a better way to end the weekend than spending it with the Who's Views team and the community. Oh,
that's nice.
Thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Loads of comments about Liz and the fact she would have been 80 today. I can't believe she would have been 80 today. She would have been a very spicy 80. She would have been letting us know what she would have thought of everything. Thankfully, she would have done. And another super chat from Mark. You've been very generous, Mark. Thank you so much. That's the same one. That's all right then. Oh, who said that, Paul? You.
Hey?
You said that's all right then.
Yeah, did I? Yes, I normally do. Yes, that's all right then. Yeah, that was based on the toy maker making comments about the Doctor's activities, and I thought it was really perfect just to summarize what Russell had done to the series. You know, yeah. That's all right then. Yeah.
I'll tell you something about Liz Sladen, and it's like she didn't just come in as a new companion, did she? Because she replaced Joe Grant, who'd been there for 3 years.
Yeah.
Which, aside from Fraser Hines, was unusual.
Yeah.
But Joe Grant had been there from Pertwee's second to Pertwee's penultimate, which had taken the series with Delgado and the real establishment of UNIT, had taken the series to the heights that it hadn't really seen since early Dalek Mania, when the ratings had really peaked. And Joe Grant had made such an impression, and I think Liz Sladen had as hard a job as Troughton taking over from Hartnell. Yeah, and she came in there as the new kid on the block, and she aced it from episode 1 of Time Warrior. Yeah. You know, there was no messing. She was there, and she was with us for an equivalent length of time and stamped her personality on all of us. And why we're talking about her now, isn't it? But hell of a job.
And I think as well, she gets overlooked quite a bit with Pertwee, because everyone thinks it's mainly her and Tom, but her relationship with John's brilliant as well. You know?
Yes,
that last series of Pertwee's is fantastic.
Yeah. We're getting lots of comments in the chat, guys, as you can tell. Stephen O'Neill is quite rightly also telling us that Liz appeared in 86 episodes across 27 stories between season 11 and 14, and then the 5 Doctors. And then in the reboot, of course, she went into School Reunion, and then she got her own story. So, you know, quite an achievement, I think. And it just shows you how fondly she was remembered and how the character she created was remembered. Because that doesn't happen in story. You know, I mean, you can bring back somebody in a soap opera or something, but it doesn't necessarily work. But with Liz and Sarah, it did, Paul.
I think part of the reason why it did work was partly to do with us, because I'm sure, you know, us over 40s, whatever age we were at the time when it came on, was the fact that we loved Sarah Jane, so we were watching children's television and boosting the figures as well, which is great.
Yeah. Well, there we go. It was just right that we actually just we just mentioned that, of course. God bless her. She is, as we say, and as you're all saying in the chat, so missed. And I'm going to stick to my guns on it. I don't think it's been the same. No. There we go. Lady Knightsbridge has joined us. Hello, Lady Knightsbridge. How are you? It's great to see you. Mark Greaves is saying this is an emotional show tonight. Yes, Mark. Yes. Well, we've got that done now. So let's get on to what we've got to talk about this evening. And I want to say, as usual, a huge thank you to everybody that's been getting in touch with us here at Who's Views Towers over the last week. And thank you for all your comments on part 1 of your headlines this weekend, last night's show. So thanks to Cara Hughes, to Rory Stanage, to Darren Hart, to Adrian Haythorne, to Gary Stock, to Bill Lowry, to Mark Milford, to Catherine Fee, Terry W, Dom Go, to Chiggy118, to the Happy Werewolf, to David Phillip, to Crimpling Doubloon, and to the Happy Wanderer. Thank you so much for all your comments and for getting in touch this week. I really, really appreciate it. And also getting in touch this week, guys, was an email from Gary Stock, who I've just mentioned there. and he sent us some photographs for us as well. And he says, "Hi JT and the Tangent Twins."
Love it.
He says, "I hope you're feeling well." And then he sent us some pictures. He sent us a picture of his son, and he said, "Here's a photo of my son Rory's Dalek, which he designed and his mate built for him. He does the convention circuit in Hampshire with it. As you can see on the Dalek, is part of his Ice Warrior costume." So bear in mind a second, I'll bring this up for you now. It's here. There's the Dalek that was built for him. And also him as Sontaran. So you can just see the Ice Warrior on the Dalek as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is him in his Sontaran costume. He's 23. And I got him into Doctor Who when he was 1 year old. Good work.
Nothing like brainwashing. That's what I do.
That's fine parenting. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine parenting.
It's in the right way, isn't it, guys? Brainwashing in the right way there.
Yeah.
But anyway, apparently Rory loves it. He also has Asperger's. So he was watching Doctor Who before the revival. He loves the classic series as well as the revival. And then Gary's saying to us, "Hope you like the photos because I love the show." Gary, thank you very much. Now, you might be wondering, Who viewers and Third Doctor Ian and Paul, what does he look like under the Sontaran helmet? Would you like to see, boys and girls?
Yes, please.
Go for it.
Oh, lovely. Yes.
Wow.
Have you
really
seen a more attractive Sontaran?
Yes.
That is very classy. That's more Sontaran-ish than the very flimsy masks that we saw in Two Doctors, which I found quite disappointing.
Oh, they were terrible. Two Doctors, weren't they?
Yeah. I think that's very good. That's very close to Lynx, isn't it? Really,
it really is. Yeah. More so than Invasion of Time as well.
Yeah.
So to Gary and Rory, thank you so much for sending those photos to us. Really appreciate it. And it was lovely to hear from you. Thank you. There's a lot of people saying well done for you in that one as well in the chat, as I'm sure you're seeing.
JT, while I remember, it was just the gentleman's name that reminded me. Can I do a little shout out for someone who's a regular viewer of ours?
Of course you can.
I keep meaning to mention and saying hi. So if Gary Lee's watching, hi Gary, nice to see you.
Oh yeah, Gary. Love catching up with him on Facebook.
Fantastic, lovely.
Yeah, okay. Well, hi Gary, how are you? Been a while. Good to see. I'm just looking at everything in the chat as well. Thank you very much for that. If you want to get in touch with us, if you want to send us anything for inclusion into the show, you can do. The email address, as Kirsty in the chat is telling you, is whosviews1@gmail.com. Thanks very much to Kirsty and the Legion of James being in the chat tonight, making sure that everybody is happy and cozy. As ever, as we get into the political side of all the stuff that we're going through tonight, all views are welcome. All views are welcome. As they were last night. If you missed part one of your headlines in your big show this weekend, where were you? Where were you? Because we were on last night live, where we were talking about the news that broke on Thursday from The Telegraph that the BBC has been told to stop tick box diversity casting. The review says the production should consider their choices carefully amid claims that the corporation is too London-centric. So that was the big story that broke on Thursday. It did make the rounds on Friday. We discussed it, Paul and I, myself, last night. Thank you so much for all the chat that came into that, because as Doctor Who fans, we are embarrassed by the fact that, of course, Doctor Who is always now included in every report going for being too far left or too woke or anything like this. So it was mortifying, quite frankly, Ian, to put all this through, to have all this. And it's not going anywhere because they insist on keep doing it, the production team.
It's like an obsession with self-destruction, isn't it? Because it's not popular anywhere at all that it appears. Nobody likes it. It's universally rejected, but they think that they're in some way morally superior if they do it. And it's quite frankly sickening, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't tell us anything that we haven't been saying for a long time. And the BBC aren't the only ones doing it, but of course they are one of the worst lot doing it. We saw in Doctor Who, the slightly Asianified Isaac Newton for example, was one of them. But it's just ridiculous. You know, I'm all for nice, diverse casts. I'd like to see them everywhere. I'd like to see lots of white people cast in African TV shows. Never happens, of course, does it? But, you know, it just seems like diversity is our strength so much that we have to constantly be told about it. In which case, if it was our strength, we'd know that and wouldn't need telling, would we? But, this BBC thing, was it an internal BBC thing that said it? So they're telling themselves.
Which is hilarious, isn't it? Really, you know.
Yeah, I stay a little bit cynical about that. I mean, you know, I'm not a fan of the BBC anyway, but is this them trying to do damage limitation by saying, look, we've looked at ourselves and we've given ourselves a very nasty telling off. We've been very naughty
just to stop
BBC. Yeah, just to stop somebody else doing it that might have a little bit more clout. I don't know, but. I don't know. We
referred back last night, Ian. Sorry to interrupt. We referred back last night to our very first headlines on the 4th of January 2024, where we reported on a study that was brought out by the Society for Common Sense, who accused the BBC back then of being woke and too far left. So here they've come out a couple of years later, with this report, which is confirming.
Finger on the pulse, only 2 years later, finger on the pulse. Oh, but it does happen everywhere, doesn't it? I saw something today, actually. I can't remember the director. It might have been the guy that did those 3 Batman films, the most recent ones. Not the most recent ones. It might be Chris Nolan. Yeah. But he's if it's him, there's a film about Troy and all that kind of thing. Yeah. And Helen of Troy is being played by a black African woman. Yeah, that's right. And she was Greek. She was not black. She was Greek, but there you are. And it's like, well, how is that in any way positive? Because, you know, anybody from Greece now is rightly outraged, but they just don't care. It's virtue signaling at its worst. And, you know, the film will flop probably as a result of it, and I hope it does, because that kind of stuff has to be stamped out.
And they've spent millions and millions and millions. We've got a super chat here from Mark Greaves. Thank you again, Mark. If any parents get their children to Gatwa series at age 1, they need to be reported to Childline. And we've got a super chat from the Chorus Sci-Fi and Fantasy. Thank you so much. Bring back DWB. Rtd'S worst nightmare. If Gary sees this, he'll be delighted with that remark, won't he?
I'm just going to say I love DWB. I used to buy it all the time. Great stuff.
Yeah. I used to get it occasionally, not every time.
Every other week, maybe every other month.
It's great to see you all. I want to give a shout out as well to Ito Gish. Nice to see you, Ito Gish, in the chat. Welcome. Lots of chat going on to this as well. Problem Being is with us now as well. Hi, mate. How you doing? And it's good to get Ian's take on what we were talking about last night as well. But if you want to go and have a look at all that, that's your headlines from last night, Saturday night. And thank you very much for all your comments on it. We will be keeping abreast of that and what the BBC are going to do, because I've been told they're not going to do anything and they're not going to take any action on it at all. So let's see where we are. Let's see where we are next year with it. Let's see if they do.
They'll only change if there's a knife at their throat. They really will. If it's like you're going to see the end of your funding, the license fee or whatever, unless you do this, that, or the other, then they'll do it. But they're too metropolitan elite, aren't they? And I don't mean elite in any way that they're actually any good at anything. They're just morons. But they consider themselves to be elite, don't they? Because we've talked before about how they look down on us and refer to us literally as the great unwashed. So they think they're right. And whilst those people are in charge, it's not going to change.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And, you know, we've said it so many times on Who's Views and on Headlines, the entertainment industry, I say entertainment in inverted commas, they've forgotten that they're supposed to entertain. They now think that they're just to preach their one-sided far-left opinions at us. It's no wonder the BBC's fallen down. The BBC is in trouble. We said this last night. The BBC is in trouble. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on with the BBC this year, some of which might affect Doctor Who in the long run. Let's see what's going on. Don't forget, they signed the YouTube deal. 50 new channels from the BBC on its way to YouTube. I know, I can hear the excitement in the audience already. Don't subscribe to any of them if you don't have a license. Okay. We've got this from Hugh Janus. Kirsty loves me saying that. Hugh Janus, thank you for your super chat. The face that launched 1,000 rubber dinghies. Okay. Hope that wasn't one of ours. And Julianne is already
That's
saying...
Hell of Troy, isn't it? I think it's referring to.
Yes. The BBC are already conspiring to make us pay to access YouTube only on their own channels. I am looking into it a little bit more, but I'm sure it's only on their own channels because they'll class it as live television. As soon as we know officially, we'll let you know. I'm trying to get all the information from it. But they're launching them apparently this month, February.
How exciting.
I didn't know you could spread crap that thin, really. 50 channels.
Yeah, they've done it already on their own channels, haven't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, they really have.
Yeah. It's going to be fascinating to see what they're going to do, isn't it? And what they're going to call them all. Problem being is saying the BBC we knew and loved died with the Shepherd's Bush TV Centre. This is a mere shadow. Absolutely agree. It's never been the same since they got rid of the donut. You know, all that talent in one place, it was so much easier to do. And just because they didn't want to be London-centric. But what did they do when they started to go out into Britain? They took all the people from London with them.
Yes.
With the old commuters. Honestly, absolutely ridiculous. Steve Braddock is saying to us, guys, 50 new channels. They can't fill one channel with any quality. Can you imagine the track on 50? Sadly, it's on the way. And Jason is saying, I feel sorry for the BBC cleaners with all that carpet sweeping and cleaning they have to do there with all the bumps under there from all the BBC's dark speakers.
Yes.
I'm sure there's more to come with those as well. But Mark Walker thinks that out of the 50 channels, 49 will be drag queens. Talking about that, talk among yourselves for a minute, because you just reminded me, Mark, I've got some information about drag queens, if I can find it. So if you talk amongst yourselves for a minute, because let's have a look. Here we go. It's from our very own Bedweer. Now, Bedweer, as you know, does an awful lot of stuff for us here on the channel about the ratings analysis, okay? And the last set of which we looked at was the full analysis for that crap we had before Christmas, the War Before the Land and the Sea. But there's other things that he's looking into for us as well. And this week he said to me, and you're going to love this, that old Crohn's Drag Race, RuPaul's Drag Race UK, ended its 6th season on BBC Three in November last year, 24, with 141,000 viewers overnight, with an average of 120,000 viewers across the 10-episode series. And then he's got to me, he texted me this on the 28th of January. He said, last night, the 3rd series of RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World, which is a different series apparently, got 60,000 overnight viewers, half of what the 2nd series achieved. When BBC Three, Bedweer continued, and as part of our chat, was relaunched back in February 2022, the UK versus the World Drag Race thing got 922,000 viewers, but that was after the 28 days. In September 2023, the 5th series got 150,000 overnight viewers, but that was down, excuse me, from 200,000 who tuned in for the launch of the 4th series. So I'm now wondering, could this fascination that the BBC have with drag queens now be explained as being, because that drag race show with the American Crown costs money.
Yeah.
Now, if it's not bringing them in on BBC Three, and that proves that the audience it's after isn't coming to even watch it on BBC Three, could this explain why the BBC is inserting drag queens from that bloody awful show on everything to desperately try and bring awareness to this thing on BBC Three? What do you think?
It's desperate because it can obviously see from the dwindling figures, no one's interested. So why keep making it? It's nonsense.
It's like Doctor Who, isn't it?
Exactly.
I was just thinking those ratings. Look at them, RTD. That's what you're going to get for Christmas.
If he's lucky, yeah.
If he's lucky, yeah. I mean, it's an obsession, isn't it? It's an absolute obsession. In fact, it's more than that. It's an addiction. They are addicted to putting them in everything. There will be one reading the news soon. I absolutely think there will. And,
one bloody mastermind, didn't they? For God's sake, I mean, incredible.
Tia Coffee. That was Tia Coffee.
Yeah.
Does the Universe thing.
Yeah. That was a fix, if you ask me. Yeah.
Of course it was. Of course it was. And
Allegedly,
how he won.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a live at 6 show about it because I was enraged.
Yeah.
Because he immediately went on to people who were criticizing the fact that he'd won. Not just Mastermind, but he's won another show. Of course, he was going on with all the usual stuff we're now used to. Oh, that's all right. Oh, the ist and autumn phobe. So I had to say about that, because they're not at all, you bloody idiots.
What, you're drag queenist, is that what you're called now? If you can criticize, yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting. So thanks again to Bedweir, because he's keeping his eyes on various things for us. And when we've got something that is of interest to all of us, we'll bring it into headlines and tell you about it. But that one, I thought I've definitely got to share that one with you, because after all this time, I'm hopeful. I don't know what Legion of James and Problem Being think of this, but I am hopeful that the bubble has begun to burst on the fascination and the addiction with that old crone's version of drag, which is not British drag. It's based on the American drag, which they've dragged over here and enforced on Britain. And now we've got very confused gay guys, mainly young gay guys, prancing around thinking they're women.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's not. I've said it before. I'll say it now. Drag in Britain is live acts, people who are comedic, drama. Some of them are actually drama students that are making some money because they drag up in women's clothes and big boobies and tell lewd jokes to an adult audience, not to kids, not on CBBC, in the pubs where they should be.
Can I ask you a question? Does Tia Coffee identify as a drag queen? Is that what he does?
I have no idea what he does.
I'm just curious because I'm out of touch, obviously. But
yeah, well, consider yourself lucky, honestly. Steve Braddock is saying to us as well, Connor Simpson first, RTD should never come back to Doctor Who. No, we shouldn't. Yep. Stephen Braddock, ooh, I hope the drag queen bubble is finally bursting. Woodhouse, 60k is appalling for a live terrestrial channel show. Julianne is also laughing at 60. Absolutely. What else we got here as well? Digby is saying, I was told the other day that Gladiators is beginning between 5 and 6 million overnights on a Saturday, but I understand that people don't watch TV anymore. Gladiators, again, has done hugely well. And for BBC Studios, it's another profit because, like with The Traitors, they've taken the Doctor Who format and the Strictly format, and they've taken them out onto the road. So there's another tour coming this year. There's a Christmas special coming from the Gladiators. With The Traitors, you've had The Traitors prom, based on the Doctor Who proms we used to get. It's the same format, very dramatic, lots of different music in it. So it's the same format. You've got a Traitors live show hitting London's West End next year. You've got the celebrity version coming. You've got an album coming out. They're not putting this much effort into Doctor Who because Doctor Who isn't interesting and nobody wants to see it, Digby. No. You know. What else we got there? YouTubers get more than what Drag Race is getting, says Problem Being. They do. They absolutely do.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting. Who was it that told me last night? It might be Steve Braddock. I can't remember. But somebody actually left us a message on our show last night saying that as they were watching our show last night, talking about the BBC and the license fee and all this, an advert came into the middle of our show for the license fee. Oh dear, that is
to quote the BBC, had nothing to do with us. Yeah.
Yes. Ezra Goldstein's joined us in the chat. Lovely to see you. How are you? Glenn Piper saying to us, the Traitors and the BBC got criticised that the cast left on the Traitors were all white. Sadly, it's not just the BBC that has this DEI agenda. No, it's people that live in North London, quite frankly, getting outraged over nothing. Shut up. That's my message to them. I used to live in North London when it was nice. Honestly. Funky saying, to be honest, the drag queen seems more interested in crystal meth.
Mind you, watching paint dry is more interesting than crystal meth. Can I just say though, JT, when you started saying drag queens and Bedweir, I was concerned
So was I. I thought he'd
gonna
started dressing up. Really, that was
yeah, he was going to start doing his stats in drag. I am delighted. I am delighted it's not the case, because if he was, he would buy 3 of every dress, wouldn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, and shoes for every occasion as well, I'd imagine. Yeah,
yeah, bless him, bless him. I know he's watching. Take no notice of the nasty men that
we're kidding. We're kidding. We love you. Honestly. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Is saying, I bet Tea and Coffee will be the next Doctor Who, and I love that avatar of a 10th Planet Cyberman there. That's beautiful.
Superb, isn't it?
Thank you, Craig. And Tony Farrell, the problem with promoting this nonsense that will make the backlash worse. The BBC is on borrowed time. I think we all know that, don't we? Except the BBC, strangely enough. But it does show that, with an advert for the TV license fee coming into our show last night, that the adverts are out there, that they've been aware of the power of YouTube for quite some time, hence why they started this deal. So especially when some of the American big players are getting far more views than their bloody shows do, and the British public have now turned to the Tube of Who for their entertainment. They should be really looking at their own house, shouldn't they, and saying, what are we getting wrong? But I suppose that's what we call British common sense.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that, are they? Not at all. Great to see so many of in the chat. Hello. Sheriff Brackett is saying, hinge and bracket, it ain't. It's not at all.
No.
And Steve Braddock is saying, JT, exactly. Oh, hello, Honky Tonks. How are you? Yes. For those of you who don't know, that's a classic British comedian called Dick Emery, who would play these wonderful comic characters when you were allowed to laugh. He wouldn't get away with it today because he did do some drag. One was a very randy old woman who attacked every man she could possibly find. Oh, you're married. She on them. The other one was Mandy, who I loved as a little boy, the blonde one. Oh, you are awful. I like you. And then he did this very camp gay guy who used to say that. Oh, hello, Honky Tonk. How are you? That was brilliant. Clarence, his name was. Oh, happy days. Drag queens are a drag, says Problem Being.
Certainly
they?
are.
Yeah, lots of chat going on about that now. I thought you would enjoy that piece of information, everybody. Isn't it interesting? Thank you, Bedouin, once again for that. Really appreciate that, my friend. It's always good to have all these bits and pieces on file, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Where are we up to now then, as we get through this today on our Sunday headlines? Oh, yes, that's right. We're there. Okay. Today in the Radio Times, have you seen this? Mark Gatiss is out and about again. Yes, they've let him out to talk about series 2 of his show. Can't remember the name of it now. The book thing. The book detective.
Bookish. It's called Bookish, isn't it? Bookish, yeah.
I thought that, and I thought, it can't be that. That's stupid. You've got that wrong. Anyway, yes, so he's going out and about on the interview circuit to promote this new series. The first one did quite well, so I believe. I didn't see it. I don't know if you two did.
I didn't watch it, but I quite like the look of it. But I remember seeing Mark Gatiss saying his character's based on the Doctor, apparently. Yeah. So,
well, we reported that, didn't we?
Yeah.
I Am Your Servant 1 is saying something like Bedouin has got the legs for it. How do you know? How do you know? You never saw his legs on the show.
Well, like Angela ripping on the walk and
I was thinking of Angela
at some point somewhere. Yeah.
See, when I was off, was he in high kicking?
He was, yes. We had him on as a guest. He was great. Yeah, really good. Yeah.
He'd do better high kicks than Shooty Gatwa, wouldn't he? Let's be right.
I know I would rather watch. Funky, thank you so much. Before we get to Mark Gatiss, thank you so much, Funky, for your super chat. I didn't realize how much I needed tonight's show after a family bereavement earlier today. Oh, God, Funky.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So sorry to hear that.
So sorry. So sorry.
Thank you for coming to see us, and thank you for staying with us, and all thoughts to you and your family at this difficult time. Oh, my God. Thank you. Thank you for being with us, friend. Oh, God.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Well, that's sad, that, isn't it? But, yeah. Everybody in the chat, make sure he's all right. Keep him happy. As we move on to that story about Mark Gatiss, this appears today At Radio Times, Doctor Who writer shares the verdict on Billy Piper regeneration twist, and he thinks it's the ultimate cliffhanger. Russell does chutzpah like no one else. Chutzpah is a word I haven't heard for such a long time, gentlemen. I'm surprised he's getting away with it in this day and age, but there we go. I wonder what Russell will say about the word chutzpah. But yeah, so obviously, as Gattis is going along to promote his show, they're going to ask him, especially the Radio Times, they're going to ask him about Doctor Who, aren't they?
Yeah.
Let's see what he's got to say. Now, I've got a bit of a throat thing going on, everybody. So sorry about that. Please bear with me. I've got plenty of water and tea next to me. But if there's a break, please bear with me. You know what's happening with me. We've got this here. Doctor Who legend Mark Gatiss has given his verdict on the Billy Piper regeneration twist at the end of last season, describing it as the ultimate cliffhanger. The reality war, which aired in May, saw Ncuti Gatwa exit the show, hurrah, with the Time Lord regenerating into the returning star, Billy Piper, who previously played the companion, Rose Tyler. And they're never going to let us forget it. 20 years on. Speaking to Radio Times at the Radio Times Covers Party 2026, Gattis, who has written Doctor Who episodes including The Unquiet Dead, The Idiot's Lantern, The Crimson Horror, and Robot of Sherwood, said RTD does chutzpah like no one else. I don't know much about what happened. If Ncuti Gatwa was going to do 3 years, but only did the 2, it was certainly a surprise that he was going, wasn't it? So I think of you have this sort of, it's like the ultimate cliffhanger, isn't it? It's like Sherlock in the Rachenbach Fall. It's like, well, this is the big one. And I mean, in a funny kind of way, it absolutely bookends the 2005 news show onwards. It's all about Billy. And then guess what? So I haven't a clue. I know there's a Christmas special this year, isn't there? But after that, who knows? Who cares? But this shows that A, he's not in the loop, guys. And also, I think he's being very borderline there as well.
He'd be very polite, I think, isn't he? I mean, the ultimate cliffhanger. God knows what it'd be like if it was a bad cliffhanger, because it's bloody awful. It really is.
They're just kissing ass because he wants a future job, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I think Gattis has, I think I might have said this before, I find him quite toxic. I don't think he's got anything to offer proper Doctor Who fandom. I don't think he's got anything to offer at all. I think he's a busted flush, really. More suited to joining crystal meth on a sofa for a conversation about how fantastic he thinks he is. I think he's a little bit smug. I don't like him. Can you tell?
No, I
got
think
the impression.
On that. And we've got Hugh Janus. Kirsty, at this moment, is rolling around on the floor laughing at me.
Yeah.
Hugh Janus.
I don't know what's wrong with Hugh Janus. I'm not quite sure.
No, she just loves the word Hugh Janus because I think she likes Hugh Janus. Yes.
Fair enough. Hugh Janus is fine. Hugh Janus.
Yeah. But super chat. Seeds of Doom was 50 years ago yesterday. Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't need reminding about things like that. Thanks, Hugh Janus. Yeah, I was watching that just the other day, actually, thinking this is bloody great.
Fantastic story. Fantastic.
Superb.
It really is. Problem being is saying to us, Russell is an idiot. Yeah. Well,
you said it, mate.
On that, more like the ultimate coat hanger, says Steve Braddock.
It's a bit flimsy for a coat hanger, to be fair. Yeah.
Frankie Standish is saying, I'm surprised that Gattis was never asked to be the Doctor. Now, that would have been taking their clique a little bit too far, because we all know as fans that was the role that Gattis would have loved to have had. In fact, he did do it once, remember, for Doctor Who Night.
And Doctor Who Night, yeah.
And he wasn't that brilliant.
No.
He did an off-camera. He was an off-camera third Doctor, wasn't he, in the Adventure in Time and Space afterwards?
Yes. With David Bradley and Reece Shearsmith, wasn't it? Yeah.
Reece Shearsmith, it was what he always wanted. So they pandered and massaged his ego.
Yeah. And they're as we all know, they're all cliquey. They're all pals together. They're all supportive of each other. Not one of them will find anything that Chibnall or RTD has done wrong. They all had to continue the narrative that was laid down 20 years ago. None of them gave it anything or fresh to do. Absolutely awful.
I still don't know how I can describe it as the ultimate cliffhanger. Because really?
Did he watch it, Paul?
Obviously not.
Did he just think it was really bad? Because I've said it before and I've said it again. That reality war was the culmination of the worst television I have ever witnessed in my life. And my poor eyes are only just recovering. I had chemotherapy that was better than watching that crap, I can tell you. You know what I mean?
More pleasurable is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, less painful.
And honestly, there's no way that I'd revisit it, even if somebody said, "Here's £1 million." Honestly, I wouldn't, because I just couldn't get through it. I haven't retained the information. It would be bloody awful. Mark Reeves is saying to us, the ultimate Hail Mary pass, more like, also 10 years too late. And Fafty Head is saying Bedouin does have the legs and coordinated shoes. I saw that on Pointless last week. I forgot it was it was repeated last week, wasn't it?
Did he come out from behind the podium, if you're pardon the expression?
A friend of mine did that once, but that's another show.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. Thank you, Steve. Thank you very, very much. And ultimate pish, more like, from Domgo. Straight to the point, like Ian there. What else we got there? Jess, they keep scraping the barrel, don't they? They can't help themselves, Jess, can they?
Yeah.
But lucky for us, because it brings us all together to talk about the crap they're talking about, quite frankly. So keep opening your mouths, people. We love it here on this show, on this channel. Keep feeding us, because we absolutely love it. Legion of James is using lots of question marks, which means he's a little bit irritated. Ultimate cliffhanger. Well, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, I don't know what does. I wonder if Gattis can breathe that far lodged up Rtd'S blank.
Fundamental.
And yes. Everybody fill in the blank. No.
The interesting thing is, how will that cliffhanger, the ultimate cliffhanger, be resolved? Hugely disappointingly, I'd imagine.
Yeah, because he can't do it, can he?
You can't. You can't. You know. Yeah.
I mean, he's backed himself into a corner. There's no sensible.
So, yeah.
There's no sensible way out of that. When he wrote that, he didn't think he was going to get a Christmas special. So now it's like one of those things where it was at that moment that he realised.
Yeah, it's like, get out of that. That's what it's like. Yeah.
And the fact is, we all know, and we've said it on the show, haven't we, viewers? We said it here, that Billy's going to be in the Christmas special because he wouldn't be able to start afresh.
Yeah.
No, he has to remind people of a dead show from 2 years before, which will automatically mean that any Christmas audience of Notwees comes along and go, oh, this is a sequel. It's a continuation. Yeah. Switch off. Yeah. Oh, drives me insane.
They'll put RuPaul's Drag Race on instead. That's what they will say, yeah.
Oh, no. Paul Schlefter is saying it wasn't an ultimate cliffhanger. It was a short cliffhanger. Yeah, Fafty had Schutzbar. Is that TV folks code for bollocks?
Yeah.
Very probably. Oh, let's have a look at that. Lots of you talking about this in here. Frankie Stannage is saying, who Janus not on Eurotrash? And Cara,
maybe in his younger days, perhaps. Yeah.
What a series that was, eh?
Eurotrash. Oh,
really gosh.
It really was. JT said, Cara, what's the Doctor Who series where visiting aliens enlarge a frog, thinking that humans eat them?
Claws of Axis.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm reading that wrong. Yeah, there you go. One of Ian's favourites.
Yeah.
They were demonstrating axonite, so they took a frog that they caught outside their spaceship and enlarged it. I don't think it was about thinking the humans ate them. I think they were just doing it because they thought it would be a good.
Did they have a line says that's not one of your food animals or something? They said, or something like that. I think
something like
possibly.
That.
In fairness, good call.
I mean, there's a lot of eating on that frog when they blow it up, isn't there? That's a good Christmas dinner there. It certainly is, But,
it was better than that frog that was in Jodie's episode, wasn't it?
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. At least it didn't talk.
Jodie or the frog.
Look who we've got here, having changed the name. It's Booze Peanut. And yes, hello. She says, hi, JT. Missed you, sweetie. Missed you too, darling. Hi, darling Ian. And lovely Paul.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm blushing. Hello, darling.
Another third Doctor fan there. And Margie 75 is saying Gattis is the complete knobhead. Ooh.
Seconded.
this little interview though, or this bit from the Radio Times that was published earlier today. Oh no, it was yesterday. Yesterday, it was Saturday. I just thought this is polite, as Paul said. This is very polite. It's not wanting to get involved. It's not wanting to give any information because he doesn't know anything. But it is standoffish to me. It's just like, oh, that's what Russell's like, and
I would love it if he said so off the record. It's shite, but let's move on.
I wish they'd all be. I think they need to be honest because they need to tell their friend, what are you doing?
Yeah.
The ratings are in the toilet and going down the pipe. You've alienated the fan base.
You've killed the series.
Your new and beloved audience that you are chasing from the TQ cult does not exist, and they are not coming to you, right? You are letting down the British public. You are letting down the BBC. You are preaching at them. What are you doing? Why can't you just produce Doctor Who?
I think they're so vacuous and shallow that they can't possibly be honest if their lives depended on it, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So they're never going to say that. They go back too far. Were they all, they were all sharing straws, weren't they, over a diet lemonade in the tavern, weren't they? They go back that far. They're not going to be honest with each other now.
I was wondering what the straw was used for a minute.
I think it had many uses, and it was still a plastic one.
Well, it's like Woodhouse 122 is pointing out to it here that Gattis is part of the Fitzroy Tavern clique. Yes,
there you go.
Absolutely, they were. And look what happens when somebody falls out of favour, like what happened with Gareth.
Yeah.
It shows you how dangerous cliques can be. I've never liked cliques; they've always scared me. But it shows you how dangerous they can actually be. But even more so when you're in the alleged show business, entertainment industry. It's a case of like bang, bang, bang. I think you're right. I think there's a point there where you don't cross somebody.
Yeah.
Don't annoy a certain somebody.
I think because. Sorry, you can carry on.
No, go for it, mate. I'll follow.
I was going to say because Russell, everyone seemed to think certainly in the industry he's still very powerful, but he's not anymore. He can't be because if Doctor Who's considered a flop now, it's not doing very well. It's in the toilet, and we'll see what happens with the camel toe thing that's coming. And then you've kind of got, he's used to be good, but he's lost it now, so he's not as talented as he used to be. So he don't have any power anymore, does he? Really.
I'd agree with you. And when we see, Ian, the results of, because of course we are going to be looking at the results of the ratings for Tiptoe on Channel 4, which he's just finishing off as he moves back into Doctor Who land. We're going to be looking at that, Ian.
I mean, everybody's star wanes eventually, doesn't it? When they're like that. But I can't see. I agree with you, Paul. I can't see how he retains any kind of real power or authority, but I think 2026 could be the year where it all finally implodes completely for Russell T Davies, and I look forward to seeing it. Like you say, you need Camel Toe to fail and the Christmas thing to fail, and I don't think he can come back from it at all. He'll just be a whinging windbag trying to convince people that he's still relevant when he's not.
Absolutely. More of that coming up, because we've got another story about Russell coming up, which is another way I think that he's trying to remain relevant in the eyes of people. But again, with this sort of stuff, I think it's because when you look at it, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, Who viewers as well, I now believe, looking back at it all, it's only because of the success of a 1999 drama for Channel 4, which was a success, which did a lot of good back then, and made his name because he'd been working for years beforehand. He did children's BBC drama, he did ITV daytime drama, and then he had this one massive hit which made him a lot of money in 1999. And that's what it's always weird out. There are two things he's remembered for: that in 1999 and the revival of Doctor Who, where he should actually now be remembered for the destruction of Doctor Who. And people not interested in anything he does anymore because the messaging is always the same. Because all he ever does is write the same thing with a different setting. I think. I've got it in Doctor Who, Paul.
as we said in our reviews of the episodes, there's a lot of good ideas in there. He's still got a bit of imagination, but he's so driven by this agenda so much that he can't see past it. I mean, some of the stories, like Lux, for instance, lovely ideas in there, but there was no one there to control him. Say, well, that's enough. Keep those 2 ideas there. Forget the rest. Put them in another episode. No one to say no to him, and that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think Gatiss in this small interview at the Radio Times covers party, which we've covered every year, because there's always somebody from Doctor Who there, and they always grab him and talk about modern Doctor Who. Unfortunately for Mark, it was wrong time, really, isn't it? After the destruction of the series, the lowest ratings in its entire history, and the most unpopular it's ever been. Nobody actually cares if there's going to be a new Doctor in Britain. Nobody cares if the thing is coming back. And I don't think people are going to be watching on Christmas Day. Domgo is saying not even the shills like the ending in the Reality War. Really? Yeah. Gosh. Benign Crinoid is with us. Hello, Benign Crinoid. Has Gattis made his way back onto Sylvester McCoy's Christmas card yet? I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Funky is also saying to us, a little bit of gossip for you all. Gattis was a contemporary of Phil Collinson at university. Oh, really?
It's all very incestuous, isn't it? And like we were talking about the tavern before, it sort of like shows you their shallowness and their just I can't think of the word really, but the fact that they take people like Gareth and Rob Shearman and they kick them out of all the writing circle for it. So, they're no longer welcome, if you like. And possibly the 2 most talented writers that wrote for the series since it came back, they got rid of them because they didn't like the way they looked at the world. And it just shows you it's not about how talented you are. It's not about how good you are. It's not about what kind of stories you can write that fit in the series. It's about what your politics, whether or not they fit with the people that are in charge of the show at the time.
And how do you write a story around those agendas?
Yeah.
That's why you don't get a story in, isn't it?
Yeah.
The reference to Sylvester McCoy's Christmas card list, was that not Colin Baker that got really annoyed with him because of that reference in that sketch?
Didn't they? I think they to the San Francisco thing.
All right. Okay. Right.
Allegedly. I remember.
After the bidding a Jew video thing, that one you mean? Yeah.
That's when the thing with the Gattis wrote that thing for Doctor Who Night, didn't he? And it was along the lines of the first 4 actors and then anyone with an
equity card.
Sylvester talk. Yeah. So Hiya, Grant Griffiths. How are you? Ultimate cliffhanger, more like the ultimate turn-off. And Sheriff Brackett saying to us, more like a J.J. Abrams mystery box than the ultimate cliffhanger. He's another one that lost the plot completely. Do you know what gets me about J.J. Abrams? He's now apologising for absolutely everything he ever did. Then why did he do it in the first place? Yeah, he apologised for all the flares, of course, in Star Trek, which he then took into Star Wars. He apologised for not having the balls to go with the George Lucas stuff, allegedly, that what he had planned for the sequels to Return of the Jedi, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Well, too late now because it's all on bloody celluloid.
Yeah.
I presume you mean the lens
coming back.
flares.
Is he coming back to do Star Wars? I read something somewhere, but he's always coming back, George Lucas.
Don't tell me that. I hope not.
Yeah.
Oh my God, can you imagine that?
I presume you meant the lens flares, JT, and not bell-bottom trousers. Just to clarify.
Well, I don't know. But were bell-bottoms in at that time? I don't.
My money's on the trousers, Ian. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've worn bell-bottoms at least 3 times in my lifetime.
I can believe that. Yeah.
Well, I'm very trendy, as you know, Paul. I'm just waiting for it to come around again.
Yeah.
You know. Is there any of the current Doctor Who lovey clique that doesn't have that self-reverential, smug, twat-faced demeanour, says, I am your servant?
No.
That's an interesting answer for you, isn't it? But no, there isn't. But they all do, don't they? They all have this, oh, look at us, because Doctor Who made them famous. Doctor Who made them successful. Doctor Who made them, rich in some cases.
Yeah.
And not one of them thanked us, because it was us that helped with that, with the success of the reboot in 2005. We were there for them. And then they tell us years later with Chibnall and then RTD, oh, it's not for you, bugger off, we don't want you anymore. Well, you're not making money now, are you?
Do you think they got so up themselves, and we know they did, but, you're quite right, Doctor Who made them, but they've got so up themselves now, they think they made Doctor Who. don't they? And some of the media is saying that, because we've seen articles, haven't we, where the creator of Doctor Who, Russell T Davies, I mean, that arse couldn't create anything as fantastic as Doctor Who.
No.
But, you know.
No, he couldn't. He absolutely couldn't. Lots of chat going on here. Sandros Coronado, nice to see you. We need Dominic Cooper as the new Doctor, and maybe his missus, Gemma Chan, as the companion. Dominic Cooper is probably a bit too big now for Doctor Who, isn't he?
I'm going to say who? I have no idea.
Gemma Chan was in that series with those humanoid robots, wasn't it? What, Humans? She was the...
wasn't it?
And was she in Nightmare in Silver as well? She was in one Doctor Who, I'm sure she was.
I can't remember. I was starting to tune in.
Are we reviewing that later on the year? Because that's a cracker, that one. Yeah.
Yes, we are.
That was a what?
Oh,
cracker.
dear.
Sorry.
Exactly, yeah. I'm preparing myself for it. No, Dominic Cooper, he was in, what's one of his... Oh, I can't remember any of his work now. I'm so sorry. Sandros, let us know. Was he in Mamma Mia? I can't remember if he was in that. Everybody else seemed to be in Mamma Mia. We've got Toonami saying to us, Gattis is now busy writing another series of the League of Gentlemen with his mate. Well, that's going to be a massive flop. Can you imagine now that character? You're my wife now. That's not going to be allowed, is it?
It's too late to do it. It's like Little Britain. They're trying to bring that back until David Walliam was cancelled. That was going to come back as well. So they can't do it. It's the wrong atmosphere to create comedy like that, because you can't make people laugh anymore. So
you can't. You absolutely can't.
But then that's an environment that they've helped create. So tough on them.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. And you know, I liked the original League of Gentlemen because there were some scary characters in there, including Papa Lazaru. He was scary. You know, you're my wife now. That was scary. And there was the other guy, which a friend of mine always reminds me of, because it was the German guy who liked Justin and then buried him. Because he
I know you're not keen on Mark Gatiss, but I quite liked him as the vet character, who was very much based on Peter Davison, the clumsy vet. That was wonderful. That was very funny. Yeah.
And the live show was brilliant. You know, but you're not going to get it now, are you? You're not going to get that now. John Mason too. It's a toad, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Benign Crinoid is Dungeness, known for its frogs. Lex is with us. Lex is saying that so-called Gatwa Who finale was quickly made on Windows editing software Movie Maker.
I don't think they were that advanced, Lex, to be honest.
It was bloody awful, wasn't it? It was terrible. It had everything, including the kitchen sink in it. It was. I mean, you'll see me crying on our show when we were reviewing it. It was so bad. It's great to see you all. Thank you for joining us here on Headlines tonight. Eat frogs. Did the aliens think we were all French? Julianne Goodwin says. And Legion James, the Christmas special will be spiteful tantrum of an episode by RTD because he has failed and the cult has been rejected. I am very concerned about what he's going to come up with, guys.
There's a lot of damage you can do in an hour, isn't there? Let's be honest. Yeah. Or even longer if punished as well. Yeah.
And he will. I think he'll use it as a vehicle for something. He can't help it.
He's bound to, and because he'll be angry as well. Yeah, I think there's something in that. But we will soon know, because it's all going back into production very soon. So when the news starts to trickle out, as soon as Cardiff reopens and the light goes on again, we're all going to be talking about whatever this sort of goes on and the rumours that are going to be around it, as well as the official stuff. Real Geriatric is saying, howdy, folks. Well, howdy.
Howdy.
Good to see you. Good to see you. And the Lady Knightsbridge is with us saying, someone should tell RTD that Doctor Who is a much-loved science fiction show and not a gay dating app for drag-obsessed sugar daddies.
Boom.
Well, you've
Take
just
that,
done
Russell.
that, lady. You've just done it, Lady Knightsbridge. So good for you. We will be sending this off to him with a please watch label.
They'll probably start filming at the latest by April, won't they? Let's be honest. They have to get cracking with this, don't they? If they're going to get ready for Christmas.
And remember, it's all in his head. So he might have written it, put it down onto a script form now. They're going to have to go back
on the back of a fag packet, obviously, So,
You're going to have to go in and
May he be blessed.
It's on the TARDIS set because that's already standing.
Yeah.
It could all be. How boring is that going to be?
May he be blessed with writer's block for a long time.
You mean he hasn't been for the last few years?
Yeah.
Well, no, but when he was writing, when he was doing the writer's tale, he had a couple of crippling moments of writer's block. I believe it'd be wonderful if it returned with a vengeance and he couldn't write anything, and the whole thing was shit canned. That'd be fantastic.
Did you see the last series? Domgo is saying to us, the Christmas episode will be the ultimate two things from RTD, a trip to Planet Drag Queen, where Daleks are undergoing gender-bending surgery, and Cyber Thems, who refuse to be pigeonholed into any box. Don't give him ideas.
It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, that whether or not it potentially could be cancelled, and if just the BBC have just put a statement out just to calm people down and stop people asking that question, is it coming back? And they could easily just let it slip, couldn't they? Let it slide and not bother making it at all.
That would be a gift. I think that would be the best thing for them to do, to shut up the fans by bringing it back for this Christmas episode. And if he's got any sense, which he doesn't, he will do some big, sparkling science fiction Christmas spectacular with a lovely ending, right? Because don't forget, we have no Doctor at the moment. There is no Doctor, right? So they could leave it open-ended unless they cast a new Doctor for a series that hasn't been confirmed yet as we broadcast live on the 1st of February 2026. There is no series going into production in 2026 for 2027, as far as we know right now, because they would have told us by now if there was. So nothing at the moment. So what we've got is he could round off this thing. But why do I get the feeling that Tennant will be back?
Yeah.
Call me
Sadly, yes, probably,
Yeah, well. Tiptoe will be toe curling, says Lee Smith. I'm not going to watch it, love. Are you? I'm not going to be bothering with it at all. No, not interested. I think it'll be very, very, very heavily influenced by the TQ cult. The transgender characters in it will be persecuted, dead named, all that sort of stuff. It'll be very bigoted. It'll be very angry because he is. And he
White straight guy will be the baddie.
Definitely.
Well, I think David Morris is playing that part. I think already.
So, and Alan Cumming playing the alleged gay one. Said it all about the casting there. Tiptoe and away you go, RTD, says Darren Reed. I like that. We might get that on a t-shirt. And Steve Braddock saying to us, toenail will be as popular as the ingrowing variety. Forbidden Man is also telling us that RTD is long gone. Let's hope so. So. We'll find out how long gone when we're sitting here, God willing, everybody touch wood, all together at the end of the year, reviewing the crap he's about to get ready for us to watch on Christmas Day.
And let's hope it's just an hour and no more than an hour, please. That's too much already, you know.
It is, isn't it? It really
not
is.
90 minutes, for God's sake, please no. Yeah.
Doc Martin.
Wouldn't it be the?
Sorry, go on in.
I was just going to say, wouldn't it be the ultimate two fingers to RTD if he didn't actually get a Christmas Day slot in the end? If it was like something on the 27th or the 28th, that'd be wonderful, buried somewhere.
Absolutely. I think it will be on Christmas Day because they've got nothing else. Look at the last Christmas 25, please. We talked about that, didn't we? Lowest ratings for BBC One in its history on Christmas Day. It was atrocious. Bedouin was having a field day with the ratings. Dot Martin is with us saying, I'm sorry, but Queer as Folk didn't have impressive ratings, but it was a success because it was the first drama of its time that showed the gay community as humans rather than cliches. I totally agree with you, Dot Martin. It absolutely was that. It absolutely was that. There was you now look at it as well. There was quite at the time, and even more so now, there was a storyline that involved an underage character there as well at that point. He was still at school, for crying out loud. Yeah. Let's see RTD try something like that today. Yeah. Man, you probably try and trans the character. And what else? It did actually, and apart from that, it did show the then gay community as just regular, normal people with bills and worries, but it also had that Doctor Who element in it.
Yeah.
Because one of the characters gets K9 for his birthday.
Yeah.
You know, and Vince, the character's name was watching Pyramids of Mars and knew everything about Doctor Who. That's Russell.
And Paul McGann doesn't count. Remember all that stuff? Yeah.
Remember that thing? Yeah. In Old Mantos on Canal Street.
Yeah.
That's long gone now, that pub. Woodhouse122 said he did do a few things before Doctor Who. I liked The Second Coming. Okay.
I didn't mind The Second Coming, to be quite honest. It's certainly... I'd not seen much of Eccleston prior to that. I'd never seen him in Cracker or anything like that, or Friends in the North. So
he was good in Cracker, I have to say. Yeah.
Right. It was quite an eye-opener for me, Second Coming. But you saw his absolute visceral hatred for Christianity in that.
Yeah.
You could tell it was written by
I agree.
a hater.
Yeah, I agree. It was shining, really, wasn't it?
And certainly didn't have the balls to do it about Islam.
Leslie Sharp was in that, of course. She was brilliant in anything she does.
Yeah,
and she went on to star in Doctor Who later on in Series 4, didn't she, at Midnight?
That's right,
she did.
Yeah, a cracking actress. Do you remember that series that she did called Afterlife for OTV?
Yeah.
That was a great series, wasn't it? I've got that on DVD somewhere. Craig Dunlop
it was good.
Go on.
No, I was saying it was good.
Yeah, fabulous. Enjoyed that. Alex Kurtzman and RTD says Craig Dunlop should get a room together so we can brick it up. And Hartnell's Ghost. To be fair, I did enjoy RTD's The Second Coming, starring pre-Who Chris Eccleston. I bought it on DVD, but that was made for ITV. It really was. Yeah, I think they tried to remake it, didn't they, somewhere along the line?
Really? Did they? Really?
Did I hear that somewhere? Oh, you know what my memory's like at the moment. Maybe I didn't. I'm sure I heard ages ago that they were trying to remake it somewhere. Don't know. And Grant Griffiths is saying not inviting Sherman back is criminal. Bloody is.
Oh God, yeah.
Maybe he just thought, no, I don't want to know.
Well, by that count, it sounds like even just from what we've heard, rumours and whatever, there's a lot of politics going on, not just with the writers, with the actors, etc., directors. There's a lot to come out about season 1 and what was going on and what the politics were and all that kind of stuff, isn't there?
Well, it's Deadpool, excuse me. It'll take the show to come off air for a few years before that comes out, when everybody knows that they're safe, and then they're looking for money. Because God knows I'll be buying the stuff when it comes out because I want to know.
Doctor Who Babylon, it should be called. That'll be it, yeah.
Yes. Call it research, everybody. Space Peninsula, lovely to see you. Gattis is the same as RTD, a career from ripping off other people's work and slapping himself on the back for his so-called genius. Could you possibly be talking about Sherlock there by any chance?
Yeah.
I never understood why that Sherlock was so
No,
big.
I never got it either. I think we're both in a minority. I couldn't get it.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Well, what annoyed me about it, Paul, was the fact that you would watch it, and if you knew the original text from Arthur Conan Doyle, you would just say, this is Arthur Conan Doyle stuff. They've just...
They've just tweaked it.
Yeah. Oh, there's loads of you with us. Hello, Wild John. Hello, Dave Harding. Nice to see you. Thank you for all your comments on that, everybody. Gosh. That was what Mark Gatiss was saying. I'm sure they had him pinned into a corner, really. What do you think about the new Doctor Who? Your man himself has been on Instagram again. For somebody that says he never used social media, he never stays off the bloody thing, does he? He's on it all the time. But this appeared on his Instagram this week. Now, what do you make of this, Who Views? You may have seen this. There he is, pictured with Phil Collinson and Pete McTighe, however you want to say it. And it's Russell T. Davis in a restaurant in Manchester. Where else? Lovely night out with Phil Collinson and Pete McTighe, however you want to say it, at that particular place in Manchester. And we discussed my knees at great length.
Nothing compared to bed weirs.
Yeah, you've got a response from that from Russell Tovey with those emojis, which are the little faces with the little hearts in the eyes. So we discussed my knees at great length, he says. Now, this has stemmed a rumour, guys. I don't know if you've seen this, but this has stemmed a rumour over the last few days that RTD is leaving Doctor Who. Could it be, as I think, he's just getting at Ncuti Gatwa? What do you reckon? Please discuss.
I think it's probably a bit of both. I think it's taking the piss a bit about Ncuti, but also he's giving a hint he's leaving. And the rumour spreading around is the fact that Pete McTighe, whatever his surname is taking over But God help us if he is, you know. But yeah.
Oh, that would be from bad to even worse.
Yeah.
He's all right at doing those. I think we said this before on the show. He's all right at doing those little segments for a Blu-ray range, but no, because he's from the same. Again, Ian, he didn't go to the Fitzroy Tambour. He might as well have.
Yeah,
he might as well have done. Yeah, I mean, I looked at that photograph and I thought, is that the cast of the next Human Centipede? Because they're all up each other, aren't they? Really, let's be honest. It's none of them can do anything for this series. They just need to take a very, very long walk in the opposite direction, nauseating people.
Well, I was hoping for Jack Thorne if there is going to be a replacement, because I saw a trailer for the Lord of the Flies, the new version, and they've done an ethnicity swap in that one, but the it looks quite good though. I have to say, whether I'll watch or not, we'll see. But it looks quite compelling.
I think it's one of those series that I will have to go and have a look at.
Yeah,
not at my own house. I just want to add, in case they're watching, you know who I'm talking about. But I wouldn't put it past them. But no, I might go off somewhere and have a look at the first episode at least. Or is it a TV movie? I'm not sure, because I love the book and I loved
the book's great.
the plays. Yeah, I've seen various plays of it through the years. I saw Matthew Bourne's version of it as well, which was really heavy. Really,
the film version from the 60s is brilliant though. From 63, that's superb.
Another film they showed us at school, Paul, which they wouldn't dream possibly of showing in schools today in case the kids wet themselves and have nightmares.
It's like watching Threads we were talking about last night. It's a bit like that. It's that kind of really gripping drama, really good stuff. Yeah,
really good stuff. But yeah, a lot of you in the chat have mentioned, what's his name, Jack Thorne. I don't know. But the thing is about that is, again, we've seen this happen to Doctor Who before. Somebody comes along with a hit or a potential hit, gets a bit of press, and everybody starts to go, oh, come and do Doctor Who. Oh, they're going to do Doctor Who. However, what usually happens if they have these massive big hits is they get tempted by other things which are better. Yeah. And as we've said on the show many times, and prove us wrong out there in the audience, Doctor Who's the kiss of death right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to take a lot of work to turn it around and get it away from all the reporting it's had over the last several years. We're including the Chibnall era here, from the non-approved media, as well as the public. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to get people to watch, even if they turn it into or back into a science fiction show.
Yeah, yeah. Because they did all that good work when it started back to try and make it more popular and get away from all the cliches about Doctor Who and all the ridiculous reporting in the press, like we talked about, although Paul Daniels is the next Doctor, all that kind of nonsense we used to get. And made it more credible. But now I think I've said so many times, it's worse than it was back in the 80s. But when it was cancelled, now it's in a worse position compared to that. You know what I mean?
Totally is.
You're absolutely right. I mean, you know, they were talking about Paul Daniels, weren't they? And
I'd rather have Emmy and the bloody Shooty Gatwa.
Well, I was thinking they took it from us going, thank God it's not Paul Daniels. They've got somebody like Christopher Eccleston, who was seriously heavyweight. And they took it round. They had success. And they ended it in a situation where we would have actually preferred Paul Daniels. Even though by that point he was dead, I would still prefer him, you know?
He'd have an interesting series of Wigs in the same way that Shooty did as well, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Siegel 6819 Siegel is saying to us, is this the 3 degrees in the parallel universe, referring to that picture? Yeah, it could well be. It could be us as well, to be honest. And Darren was saying that, I brought that one up, but Darren was saying to us, McTeague, however you want to say it, being taught the secret handshake. Telegoons reboot now, says Lee Smith. And RTD wasted poor Shooty's knees, says Domgo. We'll move on.
Yes, I'll move on there, yeah.
Pooh's Penut.
Friction, love, friction. Yeah.
Move on. Pooh's Penut. Hello, darling. RTD's chin has its own postcode. You're all on form tonight in the chat. You really are. You're all on form. Doc Martin saying to us, Moffat wrote Sherlock the way he wrote Doctor Who. They referred to adventures you didn't get to see while showing you inconsequential stuff. I didn't stay with it that long, to be quite honest, Doc Martin. I watched the first series and then I said to myself, why are you watching this? So I didn't.
It was trying to be too clever. That's the problem I found.
Yes,
with it. Maybe
it
I'm
was.
a bit stupid,
Yeah.
a bit slow, but I found it just so up itself and self-aware, and that kind of stuff.
I bet you, Paul, that if you looked at it now, it's dated with all those things that come on the screen, like the text.
Oh, the
messages.
text and stuff. Yeah.
Very of its day. And that's the problem that they brought into Doctor Who. It's very of its day. I mean, we reviewed Rose last year, didn't we, as part of our acknowledgement? I'm not saying anniversary or celebration or anything. Our acknowledgement that the modern reboot was 20 years old last March. We revisited Rose. I struggled to get through it because it was 2005.
Yeah.
Just like the Star Beast is going to be for a minority audience of that 2023.
Well, it's amazing just in 20 years how much Rose had dated and how much season 1 is dated, because it's incredible. Because we always get slagged off about classic Who having bad effects, and they were good at the time, like season 1 was, but not anymore. Things date. But
RTD is talking about the Christmas special in the Doctor Who magazine yearbook, which was released this weekend, says Paul Schlefter. There are 3 words we have to look out for, apparently. He always says that, Paul.
Yeah.
He always says
this is crap. There you go.
But he's been doing that since the first series, hasn't he? Watch out for the words, whatever, kitchen sink, whatever else it's going to be, crabs, whatever else, it's all in there. And nobody ever bothers, do they?
Yeah. Don't you mean macra? Oh, maybe not.
No, I think he was right the first time, Ian. Yeah.
Here in Canada, Doctor Who is totally dead, says the lovely Pooh's Peanut. Same here, darling. It's dead in Britain as well. They just won't admit it yet. It needed the rest. It needed to come off air last year. Instead of bringing Piper in because he was so desperate, he should have just gone to the black. No pun intended, but he should have done. I don't mean shooty. I mean a black screen. That's what it should have gone to. Do you know what I mean? Gone to the black, end of story, rest it. But no, they're so interested in purely the Grotzits, and none of them would get that reference. None of them would understand that reference. Yeah. But they're only interested in the Grotzits, so they've got to try and bring it back. But as I say, as we're broadcasting live on the 1st of February 2026, there is no sign of them filming this year for a 2027 series with a new Doctor Who. No sign of it yet. Oh, they drive me nuts. They honestly do, these people.
There's still time for them to do it, though, isn't there? And that's the thing. That's the scary thing. It could still happen. That's
they could. I mean, they could. Yeah. I mean, if they went into filming, if they commissioned it, and it's going to be a lot of money. And remember, again, we're going to come to this in a minute. They don't have a partnership yet. So who's paying for the thing? BBC Studios look likely to be doing it at the moment with no announcement by themselves.
If they did the same sort of thing they did when David Tennant left, I think they were filming Matt Smith stuff almost the same time, weren't they? Kind of thing where they were doing that. They were broadcasting Tennant's specials and they were filming Matt Smith at the same time, weren't they?
Yeah, they were absolutely. Yeah. Hi to Steve and Jeannie Frith, who are in the chat and joined us now. Good to see you. Siegel is saying to us, Paul Daniels better than Gatwa. We'd like that quite a lot. See what you did there. And hello, Silver Wolf has also joined us as well. How are the panel and everyone in the chat doing today? Hope everyone is doing okay. Well, that's nice of you, mate. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us here on the Headline.
Thank you.
Big show here on Who's Views. Digby is saying to us that Doctor Who has become the monkey's paw of sci-fi shows. We found ourselves wishing that it was at rest. I think there's an awful lot of that going over on the Star Trek fandom and over on the Star Wars fandom as well, to be quite honest. And now we've got Blake 7 apparently on the horizon.
Which we destroyed as well. Yeah.
That's all we need, isn't it, really? Honestly. Lots of you talking about this subject and also the fact that the Lord of the Flies is coming back. But Stephen Ginny Frith is saying to us 3 words, it will flop.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that. I've said it on the show. I'm going to call it again. 1 million.
Yeah.
1 million. Talking of RTD, though, we're going to continue with this. This is the announcement that was reported in Deadline that Russell T Davies and Nicola Schindler are to give a Series Mania Masterclass. Now, Nicola Schindler, for those of you who won't know or don't care, is a production partner on one of the directors on Red Productions, who Russell has worked with on many things, usually the gay stuff. And it's Red Productions that have produced for Channel 4 Tiptoe, which is his latest TQ cult drama. That's coming to Channel 4 this spring, I believe. But here they are going to give this Series Mania Masterclass. Deadline report this. Doctor Who showrunner RTD will lead a Series Mania Masterclass alongside his longtime producing partner, Nicola Schindler.
Do you think he's qualified to do that?
Now, that's the question I was going to ask you lot. The pair, who have worked on It's a Sin, Years and Years, and Queer as Folk down the years, will unveil first look clips from and discuss their new Channel 4 show, Tiptoe. They will undoubtedly also look back on a pair of stellar careers during which they have made some of Britain's most popular and critically acclaimed drama series. Schindler, who runs Key Street Productions, Key Street Productions, was the recipient of the 3rd annual Woman in Series Award at the Series Mania Forum back in 2023. Tiptoe stars Alan Cumming and David Morrissey as two neighbours in Manchester and explores the most corrosive forces facing the TQ cult community today, examining the danger as prejudice creeps back into our lives. Guess what it's all going to be about? I am delighted to be welcoming the wonderful Nicola back to Series Mania Forum, along with Russell, one of today's most prolific showrunners, that's what they all say, said Series Mania director Lawrence Herzberg. Together, they have collaborated for more than 2 decades and have been behind some of the most talked about and emotionally resonant television of recent years, connecting with audiences worldwide. I have no doubt that Tiptoe will be another masterpiece in the remarkable and long-standing creative partnership. Series Mania takes place March the 21st to the 28th this year. Fremantle bosses Jennifer Mullen and Andrea Scarassi, I hope I've said that right, will also address the confab. So what I can see them doing is they are showing clips, guys, and they're talking about Tiptoe, more agenda being pushed.
Yeah.
When they say prolific showrunner, is that a euphemism?
Answers on a postcard too, whose views BBC Television Centre, London W12 8QT. But it could well be. But, you know, Marie UK, thank you for your super chat, darling. If Tennant does return to Doctor Who, he'll be dragging his face so far along the ground he won't need a trench coat. She's on form. You're all on form in the chat tonight. Bring it on. But this is what I'm concerned. This is people, you know, trying to break into the industry. And why am I always thinking conditioning? You know, look at this. I mean, they've mentioned it in that article that the alleged LGBTQ plus, i.e. the TQ cult, the dangers that are around them today. Dangers which people like them have created themselves. Yeah. They've done it themselves. Stonewall in Britain initiated it. All the pride communities in Britain have followed it. Idiots like RTD have jumped on the bandwagon with it. You know, Tennant, the lot of them, the entertainment industry. Oh, it's far right. Andy Pryor, the casting director. Everybody's jumped on the bandwagon, not realizing that they're actually supporting homophobia as well. And it's going to be full, as we were saying, that this is what Tiptoe is going to be about. But when they're going to seminars like this and they're presenting it, I dread to think what they're going to say.
They are just going to blame everything that you quite rightly just said there. They've brought around. They've brought it about. And they're just going to start trotting out the far right thing and how important it is that they write more things like what RTD is writing now with Camel Toe and pushing back on us evil far right people. It's going to be entirely agenda driven, entirely.
I wish they would just get on with it and get a life. You know what I mean? It'd be nice if they could, you know?
Yeah, and just accept the fact that people have different outputs. I mean, it really annoys me, as you'll all know, Who viewers, that he's always going on about, as is his chums, that there are people at danger. Oh, it's a risk. And calling everybody, like our own Prime Minister did, that don't agree and won't bend the knee to them are far right. And yet they created the entire situation themselves, and they can't see that. Some of them went out deliberately with issues, which people quite rightly were going to turn around and say no, like Stonewall did. They said there was no debate over the fact that a trans woman is a woman. No, he's not. No, he's not. And you know what my feelings on this, everybody. But they jumped on that bandwagon to say, "Oh, there's no debate about it. You will comply."
Yeah.
And then they wonder why people won't play ball.
Yeah.
Pathetic, isn't it? Juliana's saying RTD really is a one-trick pony, and I'm going to say it, Julianne. I think he's a dangerous one-trick pony right now. Not just mad, not just an absolutely mad one. Angry one, I mean by that. Tiptoe is going to include a bloke in high heels, isn't it? Says Robert Payne. Guaranteed. It's Canal Street in Manchester. What yeah, it's guaranteed. And Space Peninsula. Mania is certainly the right word for it. He's clinically insane. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stevie and Jeannie Fritz saying to us, people got sick of the gay council estate soap opera style. RTD always writes. That's what I mean. Repeating himself all the time, you know. And this bit is going to, I guarantee you, this bit will also show you the nice streets in Manchester, like the sort of area he lives in, you know, to say how well off are people who are a certain colour, maybe. I don't know. There'll be a bit of that racial tension we saw in Dot Nethel. I'm sure that'll be thrown in as well at some point, guys. You know,
You're probably right.
He won't be able to help himself, will he? Jess, thank you for your super chat. I'm feeling guilty. I've got my tea and scones with jam and cream, of course. Well,
oh, lovely. Mm.
I hope Jess says scones as well, and not this scones rubbish.
Here I come to scones. You are.
If she could just if she could confirm, that would be really helpful. That we know she's saying it right.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for that, Jess. What I'll do with the super chat there is I'll put it aside for when I meet the guys in the summer, hopefully, touch wood, and we'll have tea and scones with jam and cream, of course.
To that same cafe we went to, the massive scones. Remember, they were great. Yeah,
they were huge, weren't they? I remember that. Oh, I love your scones, mate. Bloody enormous they were. Yes. So thank you for that, Jess. Thank you so much. And Sliver was saying to us, just move on RTD and stop making this rubbish. I just wish he'd stayed with Key Street Productions now, actually, and stayed and written TQ cut dramas to his heart's extent, one every year for as long as he could, until he just disappears and becomes irrelevant, because he's on his way.
Yeah.
And he is not wanted in the Doctor Who fandom now, is he?
No.
He's ruined it for everyone now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be very difficult for anyone to take over, even if it is one of his approved people. Hello, PVFS. How are you, lovely? I've been saying they were circling back to creating Discord. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We can't deny that. I mean, you know, it's going to be...
I remember how excited we all were. We thought he was coming back, and then it all went pear-shaped, didn't it? It was terrible.
Yeah, from the Davros Gate thing onwards, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
You know? Yeah. So thanks for that, Stephen, with your scones there. Oh my God. Yeah. So that's what we've got. They're going on this masterclass thing. If there is anyone out there that will come across this edition of Headlines and you are going to it, then please let us know what it was like. You can get in touch with us at whosviews1@gmail.com, because it wouldn't let me in. I tell you. But
I don't think they'd let any of us in, would they, really?
No.
I'd love to get in there. I would love to get there. It's all gone wrong, says Mikey Sandage. And we've got this from Problem Being. I was on eBay today, and someone is selling his entire collection of lovingly made custom stuff he built from scratch because RTD killed his love of the show. Oh.
So sad.
It's so sad. Yeah.
We know it happens, though, don't we? We know it's happening, but oh God, oh, that is awful. That is really sad, isn't it? That's really sad, PB. Oh, goodness me. Oh, well, never mind. So, yeah, that's that for you. But as we've just said there as well, and as you guys have said in the chat, one thing he won't approach in his masterclass with Nicola is the fact that the last iteration of Doctor Who, Shooty Gatwa, was a massive flop. A huge flop with ratings fall, as we know, at the 2 million mark.
If he had any humility, he would have a master. Here's what not to do, kind of thing would be quite good.
Exactly. He's not going to do that, is he? He's not going to do that. I want to say thanks to Lex, our very own Lex Kane in the chat, because he thought that we would find this interesting. And I actually do, because over on Disney Plus, this is how they've classified RTD2 era. As you can see here, Doctor Who Special 1, which was the Star Beast, sorry, is rated as a TV PG. Special 5, which was Joy to the World, is also a TV PG. And the 2 series starring Ncuti Gatwa as the alleged Doctor is a TV 14 rating.
Oh.
Now, isn't that a surprise, everybody? And it's also very, very sad.
That's really interesting that they have to put those ratings on them, because obviously Disney thought, well, can't show this to the kids, can we? Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what Disney would have surely have been going for as well. Something that was the traditional Doctor Who, which was available to everybody, no matter what politics they hold, or what religion they are, or whatever skin color, or whether they're male or female, and no matter what age. A family drama. But here we have the Star Beast coming in at a PG rating. Also, Joy to the World, a PG rating. And then 14 and over for the 24 and 25 series. I think that is really sad. Really, really sad. Because if any adult sees that, as a lot of adults do these days, they look at these ratings and think, and especially because it's Disney, so it's outside the UK, these people won't know what Doctor Who is. They'll think that's not suitable for the kids. No, and yet, what do they need? What do we all agree? They need the children to keep the fandom going. We touched on this last night, didn't we?
Yeah, no wonder no one was watching the bloody thing. They weren't allowed to. So.
yeah. Either that or the kids were that sensible that they got into it a little bit and then turned it off. Think, what is this crap?
They just put Bluey on instead. Yeah.
But it also could explain why actually they were so desperate to get the CBBC cartoon thing off the air. On the air, rather. You know, I reckon we'll go to YouTube. I think it'd be one of those things.
It'll have its own channel. Let's face it, there's plenty.
Yeah.
I honestly do think, Who viewers, that this thing that they're producing for the kids, this cartoon, will go onto YouTube to try and find that new younger audience in the UK and beyond to try and sustain any new version of Doctor Who, as well as trying to get the kids in the UK used to the BBC and get them to pay a license eventually. Because that's what it's all about. That's why they're trying to get these kids involved with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
At the moment, though, as we go on, Paul.
I still can't see how they're going to make this cartoon work as a way in for kids to watch Doctor Who, because Doctor Who was a family show originally, and that's how we got into it as kids, 4, 5, whatever, you know, and got into it and became real fans. So how can you do that in a preschool cartoon? It seems bizarre.
Yeah. Who knows? Lex is with us in the chat. Thanks, Lex, for your super chat here. TV 14 is Law and Order rating. There you go. So Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials, written by you know who, are on the same page as Law and Order when it comes to a rating.
Shocking.
That's madness. I'd be interested to see, Lex, what like Star Wars programs are, like The Mandalorian or Andor or things like that, what they're rated at, because they're meant to be a kind of family audience as well, kind of thing, aren't they? That sort of Star Wars audience, or even the Marvel shows as well. I'd imagine Daredevil Reborn might be 14 because that's quite violent. But
that's a good point. That we'll ask Lex if you can find out, and then we'll bring it back, because I've never looked. Because I'm older, I've never looked at what the rating is. But this, I thought you guys in the chat would be interested in this. So thanks again, Lex, for sending it to me, because I was very interested. Just thinking, what a shame, And they must have been aware of the ratings in Cardiff and at BBC Studios when Disney was allocating them. And somebody somewhere hasn't bothered to go, what have you done?
Yeah.
What have you done? Why have you done this? And it's probably because
you've shot the golden goose.
Yes. Yeah. That's not what the deal was about. That's not what we wanted. We wanted something friendly for everybody. What have you done? They haven't bothered. Let's face it. They haven't done that. But it's no wonder that Disney has walked away after those, after the failure, as we saw last week with the ratings or the views for it. And now the fact that wouldn't have helped, would it? It wouldn't have helped with the views saying, oh, this thing is for 13 and 14s and above.
Yeah.
What a shame. Who'd have thought this would have happened a few years ago with Doctor Who, everybody? What a shame. What has he done? They need to start asking the questions, don't they? Jess is pointing out that Bluey is already on YouTube. Jess, I can tell you that an awful lot of children's television originates on YouTube because the youngsters find it and make it huge. And I think that's why they'll put the Doctor Who cartoon for the under fives on YouTube before the iPlayer.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the
Probably
kids
right.
Yeah. We will soon know. We'll know later this year what's going on. Cara is asking me, was Joy to the World the one where it ends with the star over the stable? All I could think of was, why not show the birth of Muhammad or the Buddha? I can't say that. Yes, it was. And it's for reasons that, because that one was written by Moffat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's for very similar reasons to what Ian was saying there, I'm sure. They're quite happy to get, as we've discussed on the show before, they're quite happy to get at the Christian faith, but they wouldn't dare get any of the others because they are terrified.
No, it's an easy target, isn't it? It's because, you don't necessarily, with those religions, have mass acts of violence if you do it.
Exactly.
So, they can get away with it.
Still in hiding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bill Oddie's Love Child is with us. And thank you so much for your very generous chat. Morning, lads. Good morning to you. I hope you're having Weetabix. Do they have Weetabix in Australia? If they don't, we'll send you some. Love catching up with the chat over brekkie. It gets me fired up for my day at work with HR.
Good luck.
That's incredibly generous, isn't it? That's incredibly generous.
Yeah.
It's very generous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. And thank you with everybody else. Thank you for being part of our shows. It's great to hear from you. I still feel for the Australians having taken it, because Australia, of course, was the second place to start showing Doctor Who back in '63.
Yeah.
And for all those years, it was on a network they could all get to. And then as part of that streaming deal, you can't have it now. You're going to have to pay Disney for it. No wonder the Australians walked away. Like our
in retrospect,
Doctor's second home it was, wasn't it?
It was.
In retrospect, it was an act of mercy, wasn't it? Really, because it spared our Australian cousins the trauma of having to see Gatwa. Really.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a benefit. We've said this to our very own Michael, of course, who is actually one of those fans, a bit like Bedouir as well, that has walked away from the show simply because what RTD has done to it. They've lost belief, they've lost faith, and who can blame them? Who can blame them?
And at least Michael can hold his head high and say he's never paid for it. You know what I mean? So.
Yes.
So Bill Oddie's love child, yeah.
So
who knows what's going to happen in the next iteration of it, if there is one. But thank you so much for that. You're a star, and have a lovely day when you get to work. I hope it's all going to be fantastic for you. But talking of the streaming, there's another rumor out there, people. Have you seen it? Well, if you haven't, we're going to be looking at it now because it's this one. Oh, no, it's not.
Spoilers. Yeah.
Doctor Who random speculation. HBO Max likes working with Bad Wolf. In a bit of Doctor Who speculations as bounding into comics, HBO and HBO Max programming head Casey Bloys had some nice things to say about Jane Tranter and Bad Wolf. Now, from this article, or from this niceness towards Jane Tranter, some Doctor Who fans, and we all know the ones we mean, have now got excited about this because, of course, they've put 2 and 2 together and come out with 5. Because the Doctor who was in New York earlier on this year, all of them, from what we can tell. And I reckon there could be something in the fact they were there to have production meetings and not just go to the set of Loose Women or whatever it's called over there, The Voice, and listen to those idiotic women ranting about some other far left agenda with black. We showed the video with Whoopsie Goldberg, didn't we?
Yeah.
She's
in the Christmas special playing William Shakespeare, isn't she? That's it.
I doubt it because I don't think she can travel. They'll go to her and they'll set Shakespeare's life in New York and put her, in silver shoes or something. But let's get into this one, everybody, and see what you think, because this is the rumor that's been around this week. As I say, it's from Bounding Into Comics. Here's what we know about the future of the BBC's Doctor Who. Not much. Showrunner RTD is returning to write the 2026 Christmas special. Disney Plus will no longer be a co-producer moving forward. The BBC has publicly pledged that the long-running show will carry on. As you can see, that leaves a whole lot of questions still unanswered. Will RTD continue as showrunner or step aside for someone else? Could the BBC be looking for a new streaming partner? How could the new deal between the BBC and YouTube impact the franchise? Tune in next week. No, sorry, I made that up. Of course, it didn't take long for rumours and speculation to start running rampant, and this particular article didn't help, I have to say. Combine a lack of answers with social media, and it's going to happen. One of those rumours was that Warner Brothers, Discovery's HBO Max, was interested in getting on board the series, taking on a co-producing role, and that one of the main sticking points was streaming rights to the modern era episodes. It then goes on to say that while there's nothing in play that could help prove that the rumour to be a reality, it's interesting to note that Casey Bloys, chairman and CEO of HBO and HBO Max Content, had some very nice things to say about Bad Wolf's Jane Tranter. For those who aren't aware, Bad Wolf partners with HBO and HBO Max on the hit series Industry, which is currently in its 4th season and has proven a huge success for everyone involved. It should also be noted that the production company founded by Tranter and Julie Gardner has been a co-producer on Doctor Who since 2023. It could be something, it could be nothing. It's just something to keep in mind. I have to give credit to Jane Tranter, who we developed the show with. She's a producer at Bad Wolf. Blois shared with Deadline Hollywood about working with Tranter to make Industry a reality. We started out saying, let's try and produce a very modestly budgeted show. Bad Wolf has studios in Cardiff in Wales, and the idea was to find talent coming out of drama school, something we could shoot mostly in Cardiff. So it was very modestly budgeted and continues to be. Relative to other shows, very modestly budgeted and easy to say yes to, and that was all due to Bad Wolf and to Jane. Bloys continued, and I'll say what's nice about the show is everybody involved. Mickey and Conrad, the actors, everybody's profile has grown exactly as you want to see with a show like this. It does prove again that TV makes stars. Seeing Mayola, I think that is, and Marissa and their profiles rise, and Mickey and Conrad, how they're running the show, has been really exciting to see. So it's really been a great success story for us, for our collaboration with Bad Wolf. That says to me that everybody they've got out of university is cheap, cheap, cheap. What are you doing? Get your prices put up, heaven's sake. That's what they do with young people coming out of college and university, though, isn't it? They start on bloody minimum wage.
Yeah, or don't pay them at all.
Or don't
Just
pay
do,
them.
do it for self-esteem. Have you
Interns.
seen that Kevin Bridges routine?
Yeah. Or you're a Doctor Who fan. Do it for the love.
Yeah,
do it for the
exactly.
love.
Yeah.
Bloody
The thing about the article is, I think, is okay. Well, you can maybe read between the lines, thinking they're going to make Doctor Who HBO, but you have to bear in mind if they are, then Bad Wolf's still involved, which is a bit of a worry, you know.
Yeah, that's not good, is it?
Yeah. What do you think about? Let's look at this from. Oh, I've lost it. It's gone up really quickly. Kev was saying to some there. There it is. Kev Gresham saying, why would HBO take this on in its current state? Even if they agree with the views, the show will hemorrhage the money. It's a very bad business plan. Now, we have to reiterate again, this is a rumor. It came around certain Doctor Who circles this week. I thought it was hilarious. But they were in New York at the beginning of the year. It's possible they had a meeting with it. We will know in time, I suppose. But Kev's right, isn't it? You know, why would, after the failure of Disney, why would HBO touch it?
The thing about Disney's failure, I suppose, is it could always be put in as a tax loss, couldn't it? You know, in the same way that if a film flops, they write it off. If they wrote off Doctor Who, then HBO could do the same thing. Just make it and we'll write it off. It's fine.
I think it's like the DVDs, isn't it? I think if they can access the back catalogue, then, or have a chance of accessing the back catalogue, then they'll get viewers. They won't get viewers with any of the modern stuff, just like they don't get DVD sales with any of the modern stuff. It's the classic series box sets every single time. If they've got access to the original series, I think there'll be quids in or dollars in.
Did HBO show the original series at one point?
I don't think they did. I think they showed Modern Who, but I don't think they showed classic. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Don't HBO do those horrible saccharine Christmas films where so-and-so meets somewhere that they've not seen for God knows how long.
Is that not Hallmark that does that? The HBO, are they?
I don't know. They all merge into one for me, Paul, to be honest.
Same with me. I mean, that's the problem. They are all becoming one great big conglomerate anyway, because they're all getting taken over every 2 minutes. You know, there was something to be said about the old days before it all went into this streaming nonsense, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Margie is saying to us that, excuse me, HBO should get classic Doctor Who, end of. Lex is saying HBO is getting bought out, aren't they? And that ties in with what Rick is saying. Absolute rubbish. HBO belongs to Warner Brothers. That's currently being sold to Netflix or Paramount. So no new deals will even be looked at until the sale is finalized. So Netflix seems to be buying absolutely everything as well as Amazon.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Amazon was a bookshop?
It goes in cycles, doesn't it? You know, you had BBC One and ITV, then you had BBC Two, BBC One and ITV, and then you had Channel 4, Channel 5, then you had satellite, and you had this massive explosion of channels. You have the same over there, and then they all start getting bought up, and it goes back to a few big ones, and the cycle will start again, perhaps on a different format. Perhaps that'll happen on YouTube, you know, perhaps other streaming platforms. I know there are some, but other ones will appear and be huge. Because you remember, you go back what, 25 years, Google wasn't there, it was Yahoo. And Yahoo was the all powerful, and then Yahoo now is a busted flush. I mean, who uses Yahoo these days? Whereas Google is all powerful for now, you know.
Right.
I'd be concerned if HBO were to get the rights to classic Who. I know just perhaps for streaming, but if they tried to get a contract where they can control how it comes out, I don't want to spoil the Blu-ray collection that we're trying to enjoy at the moment, because it wouldn't surprise me if the BBC screwed that up as well, you know?
Oh, it wouldn't surprise any of us, would it, Paul?
Yeah.
Let's face it. Gavin Graham saying to us, I've ruminated on Industry's ratings before. I've only heard of Industry once before because we talked about it. I've never seen it. They aren't astronomical. They're barely 100K in America. And it's cheap for them to do, which is why they'll churn it out. And because they're obviously producing it in running it in Wales, I would assume. Are they filming it here? Does anybody know? Does anybody care? But definitely, it's a cheap show if they've got this minimal budget compared to the other American glossy things that are going on. Sliver Wolf saying HBO are doing the cartoon version. No, that's a British company doing that, whose name I can't remember at the moment. We've reported on that, but they're doing it. So it's a British company for under fives. That cartoon is. So don't get too
in the style of Peppa Pig, no doubt.
Peppa Pig and all that. Don't get too excited, Sliver Wolf, about it. But actually, it's one of the cases where it's not for you. It's probably the right thing to say. It's probably the doctor's learning his ABCs and his 1, 2, 3s and his timetables and all that sort of stuff.
Probably.
A young Doctor Who, like a young William Hartnell, on Gallifrey.
Well,
That's going to be so exciting for the kids, isn't it?
Yeah. Stephen O'Neill saying, in August 2019, it was announced that HBO Max secured the exclusive US streaming rights to the modern Doctor Who series between 2005 and 2022, which included seasons 1 through 12 at the time. Right. Thank you for that, mate. That's got me right there. Kev Gresham is saying to us as well, I remember Amazon being a mere rainforest. Now look at it.
Now it's the size of a stamp, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Problem being is saying to us, I miss MySpace. I used to love MySpace, mate. Oh, I loved it. You could put all your little videos.
Do you remember Friends United? Yeah. So.
Oh, Friends United. That became Facebook, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
That was
I quite liked Alta Vista as a search engine and Netscape Navigator as a browser, personally.
What a nerd.
Oh, dear. Thanks, Lex. I haven't seen it, but thank you, Lex. The chat is going really quickly, so I didn't see one of Lex's messages. Gosh, Doctor Who meets Sesame Street.
Yeah,
that's right. But yeah, I mean, again, it's because I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. These rumors are all coming about because there's no news, and we're dealing with a generation of fans that is not used to having Doctor Who off the air. So they're going to come up with all these desperate things. Occasionally, I will get thumbnails of alleged other channels, because as we all know, there are no other channels apart from Who's Views. And you know, and it would be some of the kids going on about this and this, and it's just clickbait, because there is no news at all. What you're reporting on is sheer speculation or fanwank, quite honestly.
We've been here before, haven't we? We did it back in the day when Doctor Who was kind of getting a Doctor Who movie and all that kind of stuff, remember? And all that kind of nonsense going on. So it's similar territory, isn't it? Let's be honest, you know?
It is, yes. The last of the Time Lords.
Time Lords, yeah.
Strange what that was called, wasn't it? And we all remember at the time we all said, "Oh, we're not going to watch this. You can't do that."
Yeah.
Who was there at the time around about noticing all this and then did it, stealing somebody else's idea, allegedly? All right, here we go. Other channels, that's funky. Exactly. I don't know what they ever go on about. I don't know what they're all going on.
It's mere rumour. It's rumour and speculation.
No,
it's imagination. That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, I love that song. He was in Enlightenment, wasn't he, Lee John?
Lee John. Yeah,
with 3 E's, yeah.
Yeah. Peter Davison had something to say about that, didn't he? On the DVD, yeah. But yeah, so there's one of the latest rumours. We did say that we would report on the rumours, some of the rumours that came to our attention as we build up to the actual announcements from BBC Studios as to what the hell is going on. But at the moment, it's because, as I say, there's nothing. They're not giving them anything. I think things will change from this month onwards, and I think that's when we'll start to see how stupid some of these alleged reports have been. Really, do you not think?
I think so. Like more concrete evidence, that'll be good. Yeah.
But it is a vacuum, isn't it? When there's something like that, just absolute bollocks.
Yeah.
Rushes in and fills the space.
Yeah,
because on these alleged other channels, so many people are saying, "Well, I have a contact who told me this and blah blah blah," and all that kind of nonsense. Yes, it's all Pinocchio kind of thing, you know.
Yeah,
I don't believe anybody that says that now, because I actually do, and they don't know bugger all.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and I've known these people would never lie to me because they've given me lots of information in the last God knows how many years, 20, I would imagine actually. And
you need to say, Paul, with Pinocchio, you need to say other puppets are available. Clearly.
Yes, other puppets are available, but generally Pinocchio's the only one that lies, I think. Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Allegedly.
Now, what are you talking about? And we've got this from Lex in answer to you, Paul. TV 14 for Star Wars, The Mandalorian, Star Wars Andor, Star Wars Obi-Wan, and TV MA for Daredevil.
What does MA stand for then?
That's the higher one, isn't it? Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's like an ET.
Must avoid.
Yeah. I did hear that Daredevil was quite full on though for them as well.
But it is really good though. It's very unlike Disney. I love the original HBO. I think HBO did the original TV series Daredevil, which was brilliant, really dark. And then I've only seen some of the first part of season 1, Daredevil Reborn, and it's still really violent. And it's really surprising that Disney's doing this as a show, because it's really not very Disney at all. You know?
No. Again, I think the Star Wars, excuse me, that's terrible because, you know, if you look at the original 3 Star Wars, our Star Wars, accessible to all age groups and written such in a way that the adults wouldn't get bored as well, but the kids would be entertained. Everybody was, and that's why it was massive. That's why they were so successful. And now you've got these things where, we've got to grow it up a bit. So if you're under 14, they're going to watch this. Let's face it, Baby Yoda in The Mandalorian is huge with the kids.
Yeah.
So as adults, we forget. I mean, I've watched The Mandalorian and I've watched Andor and I've watched Obi-Wan and thinking this is all right, but I've completely forgotten what would the kids think.
Yeah. It's definitely it's like a bit like what Russell was trying to do with all these callbacks to Sutek and Omega and stuff. You need to know the history of Star Wars really to get some of these things, don't you? Especially the Obi-Wan one, don't you? To be honest, you know, it's like,
yeah. And that's sad. I think it's something that we've got to. As Forbidden Man saying in the chat, the BBC has got nothing. They haven't got that at all, and they're desperately running around now looking for a partner to get Doctor Who where they know it can be, but they've just had a massive flop. And I think
it could have been so big as well. That's the thing, couldn't it? Could have been big.
It could have been huge if you'd just written bloody Doctor Who and produced Doctor Who. Digital Pollution, how are you? Good to see it. Netflix Daredevil, only Disney Daredevil is awful. Oh, so it's not a continuation. Oh.
Well, it actually is. It is the continuation from the original series into Daredevil Reborn. I've quite enjoyed I've only seen the first 4 episodes. I think there's 9 for the season. Season 2's coming, I think, soon. But I don't have Disney Plus at the moment. I've not bought it again. So I was watching it at a family member's house a couple of weeks ago, and I quite liked it. I thought it was quite similar vein. It's not as good as the original, but it's certainly on a par with some of it. Certainly.
Stephen Braddock is actually pointing out to us, and let's just say it's Disney. I always think of Mickey Mouse. I don't know about you lot, but I think of Mickey Mouse first when somebody says Disney. Not all the stuff they do today. It's Mickey Mouse, because I grew up with Mickey Mouse. Stephen Braddock saying to us, there is still a place for family entertainment. Just look at the return of the Muppet Show. Good luck to the new team doing the new Muppet Show, which gets onto Disney Plus, I believe, on the 4th of February. I've already asked my sister if I can pop round to watch it, because I love the Muppets. There's been various reiterations over the last God knows how many years, which I've not liked. Like Muppets Tonight, didn't like it. I like the traditional old characters and that sense of humor from the Muppet Show back in the 70s, the one I grew up with. Good luck to them. I hope they find that family audience. It's a direct sequel to the original Muppet Show. They're using this. They've rebuilt the sets. It's supposed to be the original theatre guys that the Muppets were in and used, with all those wonderful stars of the day. Bruce Forsyth, Mark Hamill, Linda Carter. There was a mix of American and British stars on it, remember?
Yeah.
And that was always great on a Sunday night, Paul.
And it was like a bit like the Morecambe and Wise show. They got these wonderful guests on. They just take the mickey out of them, wouldn't they, and have fun with them. And that was great. You know, I just don't know whether I've seen a few of the guests. I can't remember off the top of my head who they are, but I wasn't grabbed by the celebrity. I thought, oh no, this could be.
Maybe the kids would know who they are, because I didn't know who they were either. Yeah. You know, I would imagine some of the guests in our day, our parents wouldn't possibly have known either.
Well, they had Peter Ustinov, I remember, Peter Sellers and people like that. Amazing people. Yeah.
Actually, that's true. They had some really cool names. Darren Reed is asking us, what Muppet would Rtd be?
He just is a Muppet, surely.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be any of the others, does he?
He's one of those talking cabbages from the Christmas Carol, I think,
Christmas Carol is one of my favourite.
Oh, it's superb.
Favourite films, never mind the Muppet films. It's absolutely fantastic. The original Muppet Show was fantastic, says Margie75. It was a classic, and it was definitely a must-see around Britain, because it had, on Sunday evenings, huge figures. I know it was different times, but massive figures watching on a Sunday evening. You know, you would get your hair washed and have your bath and be sitting in front of the fire, getting your hair dry, watching the Muppets while having your dinner.
The Sunday night bath before school, once a week, mate. Needed it or not. That was it.
That's true, wasn't it? Frankie Stannage reminded me of made at Elstree. God love it. Yeah, it was one of the Lou Grade things, wasn't it? It was believed in it, and he put it on it. I don't like this one from Darren Reed. He's saying JT, Ian, and Paul of the Statler Waldorf of the Gatwa era. Get off, it's rubbish. What do you think of it so far? Rubbish.
That's one of my favourite gags in the Muppet Christmas Carol. Is it's Jacob and Robert Marley, Bob Marley. That gag cracks me up every time. It's brilliant.
Yes, it's brilliant, isn't it? I wonder how many people it's got over the head with, though. But I thought the first time around, I was peeing myself laughing.
That's brilliant. Yeah. It's always been laughing now. Yeah.
Toonami, good to see it. Nah, Doctor Who won't go to HBO because HBO is box office television with big budget shows. And Doctor Who is not box office television anymore, is it? Let's
not anymore. No,
it really isn't. But there we're up to. I don't know. It was an interesting rumor, I thought, everybody. Adamoff is saying to us on the subject of the Muppets, Animal from the Muppets scared me when I was young, as I was always scared of Miss Piggy. Well, quite right, too, because she could give that karate chop.
Oh, yeah. She's,
You know, she was deadly, Miss Piggy. Don't ever annoy the pig. Marvel Wonder Woman with Ben Kingsley is really good, says Lex Kane for a super chat. Wonder Man.
Don't know anything about that.
I've heard vague things about it. It doesn't look very good. Yeah.
No, I don't know who Wonder Man is, because I wasn't that much into comics. And even if I was, it was the big ones. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Spider-Man.
I'm just imagining Ben Kingsley spinning round and turning up in star-spangled boxer shorts and a gold tiara.
Your fantasy is your own affair, let's be honest.
Exactly. You tell him, Paul.
Yeah.
And PB is saying that Animal, Swedish Chef, and Beaker were my favourites. You wouldn't be able to get away with the Swedish Chef these days. I love the Swedish. Yeah, can't do
I
the
still
rest
love the
of it.
real hands that you had as well to manipulate.
He had the real hands. It was
was
so clever. It was absolutely brilliant. Who fancies some nice news now? Some nice news, nothing to do with RTD. Who fancies that?
Yes, please.
At the moment. Let's get on to it then. But it does involve a legend, a Doctor Who legend. It's Tom Baker, of course. Hooray!
Yay!
The Doctor himself, everybody. Of course, he's 92 years old now, turned 92 in January. He's pictured here with John Leeson, of course, the voice of K9, as well as other things. And this was I picked this story up from Podcasting Today because Tom is returning to the role of Sherlock Holmes, if you've not heard. The story, as I say, has come from Podcasting Today. Tom Baker returns as Sherlock Holmes in a new audio drama. Tom Baker, MBE. How fantastic does that sound, everybody? Tom Baker, MBE, returns to Baker Street in a brand new original audio drama, Sir Sherlock, The Red Letter Day. The new production is from AUK Studios, and we'll see the former Doctor Who star take on the role of Sir Sherlock Holmes, and it's due for release in March. That's next month. Set in 1924, the story finds Holmes having finally accepted a knighthood after years of quiet retirement on the Sussex Downs, only to be drawn back into action when a new murder case pulls him and Dr. John Watson back to London. The project marks Tom Baker's first time playing Sherlock Holmes since appearing on screen in the BBC's The Hound of the Baskervilles in 1982, and then on stage in The Mask of Moriarty in 1985, making this a rare and notable return to the character. Tom says, thanks to AUK Studios for letting me have another go at inhabiting the super sleuth. Third time lucky. God bless him. I hope I did his pipe proud this time, enjoying my return to Baker Street, which is very aptly named, I think. Joining him as Dr. John Watson is fellow Doctor Who alumnus John Leeson, best known as the voice of K9, reuniting the pair in a very different partnership more than 4 decades on. Gosh, Leeson says, it was a delight to work with Tom again, and at last, this time, I was playing the Doctor. The wider cast includes Operation Mincemeat star Nicholas Rowe as Norton, an actor with his own long association with Sherlock Holmes through the Young Sherlock Holmes film in 1985, that was by Spielberg, and Mr. Holmes in 2016. Katie Ashworth, best known for her work on CBeebies, makes her audio drama debut as Sergeant Emily Lestrade, while the late Norman Eshley appears as Lord Lestrade, with the production dedicated to his memory. Additional roles are played by Conrad Westmass, Wink Taylor, Barnaby Eaton-Jones, and Ian Kubiak. Some of you will recognise those names. The script is written by Gary Hopkins, who previously wrote for the Granada television series The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes and The Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, starring the late, great, brilliant, and no offence, Tom, but ultimate in my book, Sherlock Holmes, Jeremy Brett. Hopkins says, it's so nice to be back at 221B Baker Street again. It seemed like unfinished business that Tom Baker hadn't returned to the part sooner, so I'm delighted that he's back for these new adventures of Sir Sherlock. Sir Sherlock, The Red Letter Day is directed and produced by AUK Studios, creative director Barnaby Eaton-Jones, who is also script editor and casting director, and voices the character of Weems, or Wemyss. The audio drama is available to pre-order now, with CDs and official novelizations offered through a Kickstarter, so you can look it up there. But I have to say, with Gary Hopkins writing this is going to be a cracking story. A cracking story.
I think it's lovely that Tom's doing it. It's also lovely that John Leeson's doing it, although it'll be hard to not imagine K9 talking to him as Dr. Watson. But the thing about it is, for me, I hope he doesn't say affirmative any time during the production.
I'm sure he will.
But what got me was from the article he said about there's a female policewoman sergeant in 1924. That's something I'm not. That's a bit odd, I have to say.
I see a little bit. Yeah. I was thinking that, Paul. It just seems a little bit, doing it for a little bit of so they look good. Maybe, I don't know. It's
Yeah, because there wasn't any police women in 1924, was there?
No, there weren't. So, and certainly not at that level. But the thing as well is, it reminded me a little bit when I read it of the Kate Lethbridge-Stewart thing.
Yeah.
It's the daughter of the brigadier, so we accept her. This one's the daughter of Lestrade, so we accept her.
Why they didn't just make it the son of Lestrade would have made more sense historically anyway, without being sexist or whatever. It's not right for that time period. It's going back to what we talked about with casting last night, various things, same kind of ideas, like change for change's sake, it doesn't make sense. It wouldn't have happened in 1924.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you remember that film that they had? It had Olivia Colman in it, about the woman who was sending nasty little letters. Was it called Nasty Little Letters? It was in the early
Wicked Little Letters.
Wicked Little Letters, yeah. And there was a female. It was factually accurate, and there was a female police officer. But I think you're absolutely right. Not at that level. But of course, in that Wicked Little Letters, they made her Asian. Of course,
they did. Right. They did. Yeah. Again. You're right, Paul. You're right, Ian. It goes back to the show we talked about last night about this whole DEI woke tick box casting, which the BBC has come under criticism. But it also it's in theatre, it's in audios, it's everywhere, because they have to be seen to be doing it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought when you read the article, it was going to be a Big Finish production. But as you said, some of the names are quite familiar, like Conrad Westmass, who plays Paul McGann's companion in one of the audios.
Keris, isn't it?
Keris, yeah. I am very impressed. Yeah, thank you. Well done. Yeah. You're on form tonight.
I remember. He was with India Fisher. I only know because I met him once.
Yeah, well, exactly. You're right. With India Fisher as Charlie, yeah. In the Divergent Universe series, which got a bit boring after a while, which is a shame. But so and then I think Gary Hopkins writes for a Big Finish as well. So there's a lot of connections to it, obviously.
Does he? My goodness, I did not know that. Wow.
Well, I think he wrote some of the Paul McGann stuff as well, the bits where Conrad Westmass was in fact. Yeah, I think a couple of them, yeah.
Okay.
It's years ago now, isn't it? It's years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I love Tom, says John Roberts, but Jeremy Brett was the best Sherlock. I love Tom, and yes, I agree with you, Jeremy Brett.
I don't think Tom is as bad as he makes out. I know he's kind of taking the mickey a little bit, but the TV version that Barry Letts did, that he played Watson and Terence Rigby, he played Holmes and Terence Rigby played Watson. It's not that bad a show, but Sherlock's hardly in it. It's not about him, that one, is it, really? But
the problem with it as well is that none of us can actually review it now because they haven't brought it out on DVD or Blu-ray. There was a VHS years ago, do you remember? And then that's disappeared. And I don't know if it's due to the copyright reasons with the estate or with right or whatever, or maybe they just wanted to bury it because it didn't do that well. It didn't perform that well, did it, for the BBC? But for us Doctor Who fans, we would buy it because it's got Tom Bloody Baker in it.
Yeah,
Caroline John as well.
Caroline John was in it as well. Of course she was, wasn't she? God love her. We would buy it. Studios, release it if you can, because there is an audience. Let the Doctor Who audience know it's there. We will buy it. I can assure you, you'll do okay with this. Not brilliant like the collection box sets, but you'll do okay because the original fans, our age, our Who viewers, we will go and buy it. I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
Frank Stanish saying, love the Granada Sherlock Holmes. It was just perfect. When it comes on now during the day as a repeat, you can watch it very happily, I feel. I loved watching it every week, those series. Just Jeremy Brett. Oh, he was another Doctor Who that we never had. Robert Payne, yes, Paul's right. A female Lestrade is not likely at all.
I'm glad someone agrees with me. That's good.
Doesn't happen often. And Adam Moffat is saying to us, for all of his faults, I did enjoy Moffat's Sherlock. Wish we could get that level of writing for him in Doctor Who. That's terrible. Kev Gresham is saying Tom as Sherlock, Jeremy as the Doctor. Both would have been great. And of course, they knew each other, Tom and Jeremy, didn't they?
The funny thing is, Sherlock Holmes is a bit like Doctor Who. Often the first one you see is the first one you kind of grow to love. And I was brought up on Basil Rathbone myself.
Like your Doctor.
And I adore Jeremy Brett, but Basil Rathbone, because all those black and white movies were shown on BBC Two, kind of in the Five Faces slot, was wonderful, weren't they?
Yeah. Stephen O'Neill is kindly just saying to us and confirming to us, the BBC version of The Hound of the Baskervilles was first broadcast in 1982. As I remember, it was also Tom's first work after Doctor Who, because Barry Letts was on the phone to him immediately saying, I've got a job for you. Yeah. It was part of the BBC's Sunday Classic strand of period dramas and literary adaptations. It's never been released on DVD or Blu-ray. It's a shame. It's a shame. I do remember the VHS, but that's a long time ago.
He did Hound of the Baskervilles and went on tour with Educating Rita all around the same time.
He did, didn't he? And that was a huge success for him, Educating Rita.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Make drama era accurate again, says Robert Payne.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get letters now, I'll tell you. And Paul Schlefter, I really want to see Tom's Hound of the Baskervilles, but can't find it anywhere. That's because it's not available. It's not available. And because it was never produced on DVD or Blu-ray, it hasn't appeared on the Tube of Who either.
There's bound to be a few clips on here somewhere, I'd imagine. But
there must be.
Yeah.
Steve Braddock is saying to us, oh, this is great news. I loved him as Sherlock Holmes in The Hound of the Baskervilles. Do you remember it? Oh, you're so lucky. I don't remember. I know I watched it, but I don't really remember it at all. I was 12. I don't remember.
I remember certain scenes. I remember the very opening scene where you saw him and he was playing his violin. And then I remember the very end where he was on the moor and the dogs, which I think had been covered in luminous paint, were charging. And he had a pistol and he was doing this huge shot and everything, But I don't remember much after that. I just remember sort of like those key scenes. That was it.
I've got an off-air recording of it. A friend of mine gave me from his collection from '82. I've got it somewhere. It's either here behind me or it's in the loft somewhere. I need to try and dig it out. But I loved it. It was great. It's not as bad as Tom makes out, I have to say.
No. Oh, that's good to know. I wish I'd seen him live. I wish I'd seen him on stage because that would have been a different performance.
Oh, definitely.
Really. I've never actually seen Tom on stage, but for friends I have that saw Educating Rita back in the day and. Not the Pirates of Penzance, that was Colin.
Treasure Island?
Treasure Island, the famous Treasure Island where he played Long John Silver. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was just the entire show. Not surprising for Mr. Baker, though, is it really?
I've never seen Tom on stage, but I saw Colin on stage in what's the film? The film he made. What's it called? Oh, Kind Hearts and Coronets. Yeah. Kind Hearts and Coronets, and he plays like 7 different parts with Robert Powell. It was brilliant. He was super.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I saw Educating Rita in York. It was the first time I met Tom afterwards backstage, and it was quite a culture shock because he comes in one scene and basically just starts liberally using the F word, which was like...
It's like seeing him at work, isn't it, to be honest?
And he's playing the character drunk, so he comes through the door and says, F 'em all, and then he says, I fell off the rostrum twice, because he'd been doing some kind of presentation and he was pissed. But he was brilliant. Kate Fitzgerald, who he was opposite, she... At one point, she said that he was saying something and he sounded like a Dalek, and there was a huge cheer went up around the theatre, which must have been, for Tom, must have been like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I must admit, I love the movie version with Michael Caine and Julie Walters, but by all accounts,
film.
But by all accounts, though, I think from what people say, I think Tom was better than Michael Caine. But
I've heard that too. I've heard that too. And with a lot of people saying that Tom was passed over because Michael was a bigger name and a bigger draw abroad.
Don't get me wrong, Michael Caine's brilliant as well, and he's super.
Great.
But I can imagine Tom being a bit more right for it. You know what I mean?
Because they were very brave to go with Julie, really, because it was a movie that was going abroad. And Julie wasn't known abroad at that point. This is I think her first film, but we knew her in the UK, of course, because of Victoria Wood. And the show she's done with Victoria Wood.
One of my favourite movies. It really is superb.
It's a great film. It's a really good film. It's very.
I love the running gag. To interrupt you, the running gag with Michael Williams, who's having an affair with Michael Caine's wife, and he's on the phone all the time. He said the phone's been cut off. It's like brilliant.
Judi Dench's late husband, of course.
Yeah.
But it's a great. I always got confused because I thought Educating Rita was supposed to be set in Liverpool, and yet it's filmed in Ireland. With bits of Liverpool in it occasionally, if you're lucky. It confused me that as a kid. It was like that. Where's that? Anyway, Edith Smith, says Stephen O'Neill, was the first female police officer in the UK to be granted full powers of arrest, starting her duty in December 1915 in Grantham, Lincolnshire. Woo! You see?
Well, I stand corrected then.
Clever.
Yeah.
But not a senior police officer. And at that point, women didn't even have the vote, did they? In 1915, it was post First World War.
Yeah. Excuse me, everybody. Digital Pollution is saying Basil Rathbone was the best and only Holmes. I do have a very special soft spot for Basil Rathbone because, as Paul said, I did grow up with him because BBC Two at one point was showing them every Friday night. And I would tune in after Harold Lloyd first and then a Basil Rathbone Sherlock. I loved my Friday nights as a kid.
And Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson, that bumbling Dr. Watson was superb. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Lex saying to us here as well. I remember in Sherlock Holmes episodes of Jeremy Brett, he was running around and jumping all over like the sofa, like the Doctor. He would have been a great Doctor in Doctor. He would have been brilliant.
Yeah,
he would have been brilliant.
yeah.
But it was another one of those what if Doctors. Really, it really, really was. And lots of you having a really good chat about this here. As Kirsty is saying to us, thank you very much. Please do hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, please make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. Funky is reminding me that he visited the Granada Studios tour of the Jeremy Brett home stage. I'd forgotten that was part of the Granada lot and you could go and see it with Corrie, and I never did. I've seen Corrie since, obviously, but I never got to see the Jeremy Brett home stage. I missed my chance there years ago, guys. Yeah, I was busy doing other things, going out clubbing and stuff like that. That didn't do it. But anyway, that is there for you. That is there for if you are interested. You can look it up and you can pre-order it and take part in it. And it's going to be out next month. There you go. And it's got Tom and John Leeson in it. So it is a bit of a draw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doctor
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And hooray for Harold Lloyd as well, yeah.
Hooray for Harold Lloyd, yeah.
I think the fact that it's not Big Finish, is a plus as well, to be honest.
Yeah. It's something different, isn't it? And good for them.
Yeah.
To take it on. If you've been, and you are all of regulars here on Headlines, you'll know that for the last few weeks as well. Ian has been highlighting the work of a fantastic AI artist that Ian absolutely adores on X. Well, there's another one that Ian has found now from George IV. Here we have Carry On Crinoid and Carry On Exterminating.
Oh, brilliant. Lovely.
Aren't they fabulous? Yeah. Look on the bottom there. You've got Sid James in the uniform there. Look. And on there, the Daleks on the bridge, the Crinoids in a proper English-looking village with the Crinoid arms there. What a blooming liberty. The funniest spoilage since fig leaves, and it's growing on you.
He's very, very good. I mean, I know I'm sort of like singing his praises left, right, and centre, but justifiably so. I was saying to JT and Paul beforehand that he's also just published a 10 or 12 second clip of somebody stumbling over a village green, turning slowly into a crinoid, and it's incredible. I would honestly, strongly advise anybody, if you have an X account, look at George IV. If you don't have an X account, get one just to look at George IV's content. It's wonderful. It really is wonderful.
Yeah.
Love it.
A lot of praise coming again for these pictures here from George IV, including this one from Funky. Is Kenneth Williams playing Benton? Yes, he is. Yeah, but that's brilliant. So thanks again for that one, Ian. But as he says, it's all on there on X for you from George IV. And talking of carry-ons, our next schedule show here on Whose Views is this Wednesday, live at 8, with our review of Carry On Cabby. Carry On Cabby. Can't wait to hear what George has to say about that, because he's the font of all knowledge, as you know.
Esme Cannon, yay!
Yeah. Esme Cannon,
yeah,
absolutely. And of course, a starring role for a certain Hattie Jakes. Can't wait to see that. Third Doctor Ian, Paul, again, as usual, thank you so much for coming up and joining me for Headlines tonight. It's been a great show, great chat, everybody. Thank you, everybody in the chat. It was great to see you. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to make sure you are still subscribed. And don't forget to ring that bell so that you're here with us when we go live again. It's been great to have you all in the chat. Thank you so much for your information and your contributions. It means the world. Thank you so much for all the super chats. That means the world as well. If you're about to go off to work in HR, have a great day.
Good night.
Have a good day. If you're about to go to bed, good night. Wherever you're watching us, thank you for your support. It means the world. From Third Doctor Ian, from Paul and myself, we'll see you again very soon, because when they drop a headline, we're going to be here to talk about it. Ta-ra, everyone. Good night.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.